What's going on, guys? It's Creator here, back with a new This Week in Wrestling. We're on episode 20, the final build to Battleground. Now, before we start anything, let me so I can actually hear myself. Come on. The new This Week in Wrestling. We're on episode 20. Okay, so I can hear myself. I was just making sure. I was waiting for the playback to go. Okay, so we're going to be covering Battleground, all the stuff that happened in wrestling. I don't want my crap to knock down. Holy crap. I gotta be careful about that one. Can't get really too excited there. So yeah, before we start, as always, like today's video, make sure you hit that like button, comment down below, and since it's a live chat, you can comment on the chat. I will answer anything that you guys are waiting for. So we look forward to that. And if you want to give official predictions for Battleground, be sure to contact me. Or if you want to be a part of the show, since this is the prediction episode, every time we do the podcast where it's the same week as the pay-per-view, I always have people want to come on. They want to come on and give their predictions for the pay-per-view. This week is Battleground, which is in my home city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sadly, I can't make the event, but maybe next time, right? Maybe the Royal Rumble, I might be doing live coverage there. So there's that. So before we get started, just a update for this week's schedule on my YouTube channel. I know it's been kind of dormant, only one video this week is because a couple reasons. I've been working all week this week. My schedule was weirder than usual. It wasn't my normal morning schedule, and that's because one of the employees I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week. They went on vacation. They just came back, but because of that, the past 2 weeks I've been doing night shifts. So, for example, on Monday, I actually missed Monday Night Raw, so I had to catch a replay of it online illegally. So I had to catch a replay on that because I actually had to close the store on Monday. I was a closer on that day. So yeah, my schedule was kind of off. And my this week I was planning on doing a review of the SH Figure Arts Red Buster. I know I said that last week, but since my schedule got changed, I actually was planning on doing my SH Figure review of Red Buster. I actually had 3 days off this week, 3 days. And you know what ended up happening? I only had 1 day off instead of 3, and that's because today somebody got fired at our store. So not only did I get called in today, but I'm actually going to work tomorrow, which is my off day. Today and Friday was supposed to be, and well, tomorrow's Friday. Today and Friday was supposed to be my off days, so I can't even have time to record. Or I could try to record something maybe tomorrow. My SH Figure Out Red Buster. I mean, I already got my script done. I'm just recording. That's all it is really left to do is just record. And probably in my next day off, I'll edit it. And I should have the goal is at least have it up next week for something next week for you guys. I do apologize for the lack of video. You did see a new video up here uploaded today, this past week, which was I'm coming to SCW. For those who don't know who that is or what that is, SCW is Suicide Championship Wrestling. It's a backyard promotion here where I live in Philadelphia. I'm officially becoming part of that. My on-screen debut is yet. You won't. I'm not going to reveal when that's going to happen. You're going to have to check out SCW for themselves. They have a Facebook page, a YouTube page. It's actually going to be in my recommended channels list as soon as this podcast is over. I just want to announce it so if you actually go to my channel page, you wonder why is this random channel on my channel page. So there's that. What else? Anything else to cover on my regular stuff for regular in wrestling? I think that's it. So looking next week, my goal next week is to definitely have at least one review up. The SH Figure Arts Red Buster is the main goal. That is my next video, period. It's just a matter of when I have time to record it. Editing won't be an issue. It would probably take a day, if anything, but just a recording part. I don't have time to record since I've been working. And now my day off, which I was originally going to plan on, but at this point, editing and finishing my video, can't even do it because I'm going to work. So yeah, hopefully I'll figure it out eventually. Otherwise, I believe that is it. So we will just get started. And I guess I'm really trying to think of anything else. Yes, next week, hopefully, Red Buster review. Otherwise, we will get right in started with the wrestling stuff. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm not gonna lie. I really feel like I'm forgetting something. Screw it. If I remember, I remember. First thing first, breaking news portion. Big backstage update on possible Brock Lesnar UFC return and what he's telling WWE about his future. This is from WrestlingNews.com. As noted earlier today, WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar has re-entered the USADA drug testing pool, which has led to speculation that he might be considering a return to UFC for another fight. The report, which came from at Talk MMA Twitter account, added that Brock Lesnar UFC return is imminent and that he could fight UFC as early as November at the November event at Madison Square Garden, blah, blah, blah. But according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Brock Lesnar re-entered the USADA test because he's playing a fight, not because he's playing the fight Madison Square Garden this year. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what I'm trying to get at, this whole week, the rumor that Brock Lesnar, the real thing behind this is that not just UFC, but in general, is that regarding Brock Lesnar's future in the company. In case you guys don't know, Brock Lesnar signed a 3-year deal back in 2015, right before WrestleMania 31, so extended his contract all the way to at least WrestleMania 34. And guess where we are leading up to next year? WrestleMania 34, yeah, exactly. So Brock Lesnar's contract will probably be expiring right around time WrestleMania 34 happened, if not the day after WrestleMania 34. So it's been questions on will he sign or will he not sign. Now, before today's news came out, which I will go over, I think this all made sense now in terms of what's happening on the current programming. SummerSlam now, even though it's not official, I don't want to spoil the Raw review, so never mind. Basically, the original plan for SummerSlam, the original plan for WrestleMania was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Those plans has been nixed now because I guess behind the scenes of this happening. That's why the way SummerSlam is going this route, thanks to Brock Lesnar. Now, today, another piece of interesting news came out regarding Brock Lesnar is that if terms his contract, which ends in 2018 next year and around April, if neither side, that means either WWE or Brock Lesnar's party, if neither side come to an agreement whether to renew it or not renew it, they just there's apparently a renewal option in their contract, in this contract that Brock Lesnar signed. So that basically means that Brock Lesnar and WWE can't come to an agreement or automatically renew, which means Brock Lesnar will still be part of WWE after if they don't call it a contract. It will be an automatic renewal, which I would say that's definitely interesting. I think WWE realized they didn't want to go to probably a headache because what you would call it, they didn't want to go through a headache because I'm just looking, funny thing, I'm gonna open this up real quick. One of the SCW wrestlers, TJ Maxx, he's actually starting his podcast right now. I didn't realize he started his podcast today. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to listen to it after I'm done. I might be done. I'm just going to hit that like button right there for him. Yeah, so I will definitely watch your podcast right after I'm done with mine. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying before, Brock Lesnar, I think because they realized they didn't want to go through the same headache as they did last year. I mean, back in 2014, 15, like, oh crap, this guy going to actually re-sign it with us. And he was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the time too. And the same issue now, he's the current Universal Champion. So it's like, what's going to give here? Like, what is really going to give? I have no idea. So this was the right smart move for WWE in terms of doing a renewal option in their contract. So no matter what, if Brock Lesnar can't, and if those two can't decide on something, the contract automatically renews. So Brock Lesnar still be part of WWE. So I think WWE did the right decision there. Whether Brock Lesnar actually still wants to be part of WWE, who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the highest paid wrestler besides John Cena in the company, and he barely appears. So for this, making this much money by barely doing anything, and he only wrestles on pay-per-view matches. On Raw is only the big ones. So yeah, I feel like he's good where he's at. So if they want to use him a little afterwards, they can. I mean, it all depends what their story plan is for Brock Lesnar. Who knows? So there's that. Another report that came out this week was that police is suggesting W Superstar Paige be charged with battery. Because in case you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure I reported this last week. I think this did happen last week. They have determined that current W Superstar Paige should be charged with battery regarding the incident involving her current fiance, Berto El Patron, and also being stated that it will ultimately be up to the state attorney office to make that final decision. So, if you case you don't got to know, I think it was last week where they were deciding. It was a whole situation of a battery or assault incident that took place. Paige first last had nothing to do with her. It was reality actually was between her and Alberto El Patron or Alberto Del Rio, you know, the crazy psychopath that keeps tweeting about Triple H on Twitter. Yeah, him. It was about those two, and now if she is actually charged with battery, that's going to be something. The interesting part about this, another article came out today, is that if she is charged with battery, WWE will have the grounds to actually terminate her contract. Because in their contract, basically, and besides the wellness violations, if a superstar gets charged with a basically gets charged with any kind of charge, they will automatically get suspended, and that'll be considered a violation in their contract. Paige already has 2 wellness violations. Even though this won't be a wellness violation, this will actually count as 3 different violations. So in that regard, if you get a free violation, we will have the grounds to automatically terminate your contract. So if Paige is actually charged with assault, that will be considered a zero tolerance in terms of getting charged with any police thing whatsoever. So Paige can actually probably might be out of the company if this actually happens. And I think WWE will actually I think they're waiting for a reason to terminate her contract, because they probably don't want to release her and then still have to pay her, because they're not. I guarantee you, after the whole year she had with the 2 wellness violations, that video, among other things, and especially dating Alberto Del Rio, which is he's on very bad terms with WWE, I think they don't even want to pay her any more money than what they actually have to. So because of that, I think WWE's probably praying to the gods right now. Please let this battery charge go through. If it does, they can easily terminate her contract. Good. They will be solid. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what WWE's praying for. But if this is actually happening, I mean, again, it would be a lost day week because Paige has literally done nothing. She's been injured. She was supposedly returning to the ring. She was hyping that up like a month or 2 ago. But with this whole thing with Roberto Del Rio, and then her appearing at Slammiversary, you know, she was wearing a mask. That was her. So appearing at the event, despite the fact that WWE hates when other people, without them knowing, will appear in other companies, especially GFW, which is formerly known as Impact Wrestling, which is formerly known as TNA. I don't think they want her to appear in that whatsoever. So yeah, I think they want her to get released. It's just sad because her career was on such going up when she first started. Let's think about her career so far. When she first came in, she became the inaugural NXT Women's Champion. She will always be the only superstar to hold 2 women's titles at the same time, unless somebody else does it, which was the NXT Women's title and at the time the WWE Divas Championship. She's the only person that can say she held both titles at the same exact time. No other female wrestler can say they held 2 titles. So with that being 2 female titles, no other female wrestler can say that. She was the only she was part of the only female match at WrestleMania, on the main show at least, at WrestleMania 31. She headlined that for the females, and it was like she was good. I mean, and then I don't know what happened. It's maybe the documentary might explain where all went wrong, but hey, I don't even know. I don't know. That was a joke, by the way. I just don't know what they're going to be doing. Paige, I just feel sorry for you. I don't know. And you, Dane Del Rio, clearly wasn't your best option. I don't know. I wish she was still on Total Diva so we could understand why she dated Alberto in the first place. It will all be revealed eventually, but that's it for Paige. And you are probably right, Black Area Game. Nice to hear from you again, Black Area Gaming. You are definitely right about that. She might be, however, the thing is that she may be slightly protected by the movie Rock is making. I think you are right. I think they're going to keep her until that movie is done or is actually publicly released. they probably still want to promote the fact that, hey, this is Paige. You remember, you know, the one that we don't really want to be acknowledged in our company, but she is. So, yeah, here's her in this movie that The Rock made. Since Rock is a big time movie star, they probably wanted the profit off of that. I think if they released her, they would have no rights to like any what's the royalties to the movie since Paige isn't part of WWE anymore. So I think you are right, Black Air Game. They're gonna keep her. They won't use her on TV, but they will keep her under contract. Probably, if this battery charge doesn't go through, then they'll probably just keep her for her contract. Probably until this movie is released to the public and all the revenue from that gets sorted out between The Rock, WWE, and Paige's family and stuff. And then they'll release her. She'll have no use for the company anymore. So you might be right on that one. So yeah. Another bit of interesting news that happened yesterday, which I did not see or did not hear about until later because I was actually filming I was part of the SCW tapings. I was filming that. Shane McMahon, yeah, he was involved in a helicopter accident, and I had no idea this was going on. This happened when I was filming SCW. Thank God he's okay. Now, there's two hilarious things that come about this. There's a meme. There's a picture. There's a picture of Shane McMahon falling out of the helicopter, doing, you know, WrestleMania 32 and Stein telling Cell him getting out the helicopter. Because again, Shane McMahon can survive falling from the Hell in a Cell, falling from that stage ramp before, and a bunch of other things. I'm pretty sure he can survive a helicopter crash. And another good thing, this tweet from Rusev, which I'm about to read right now. This is why Rusev is the greatest probably man ever on Twitter. Let me get his crap up right now. Alrighty. Rusev is hilarious. He said that he deleted. He thought, oh, he didn't. No, he didn't. Goddamn, they probably. Oh no, he didn't. Thank God he didn't. It says when you don't respond to my video message, you land in the ocean. At Shane McMahon. Savage. He is a savage. Savage. Rusev. Because in case you guys don't remember, Rusev was making videos on Smackdown Live saying, hey, Shane McMahon, I'm only going to appear on this show is unless you give me a title shot, Money in the Bank. A WWE title shot that he never had before at Money in the Bank. That clearly makes me believe they were probably planning on doing something with Rusev, but then they realized, Jinder Mahal, we can do something with him instead. And now Rusev is back. He's back, but he's not probably in the main world title picture. I don't know if he will be in the future. It's a bunch. SmackDown's an interesting brand because there's so many possibilities they can go with feuds now. Since clearly SmackDown loves building people and making them superstars, i.e. Jinder Mahal. Like nobody would expect Jinder Mahal to be a top. Again, people, even though you don't accept or not, Jinder Mahal is the main eventer now. So he's the top star. He's one of the top stars of SmackDown. So you don't want to think that. He's made him that way, and they're giving him the champion, like they're giving him like the championship deal. Like he feels like a star now. Like when people see Jinder Mahal, they're like, "Oh crap, yeah, this is our WWE champion." We might boo the hell out of him, but he is our WWE champion. And again, the views on YouTube says every video. If you check on YouTube for WWE, any video where that has Jinder Mahal involved in it on SmackDown with the highlights that they put on YouTube always gets a million views. Jinder Mahal is something, I'm telling you. There's something with Jinder Mahal that people are interested in now, probably because he's one of those superstars you would never less than 3 months ago you would have never even had him in a conversation with the WWE title, and now he has the most prestigious title in the company. So miracles happen on SmackDown Live. But the point is, I went way off topic there. I'm glad Shane McMahon's okay. In all seriousness, thank God Shane McMahon's okay. I don't think he's going to be probably part of Battleground pay-per-view. It's going to have to be Dan Bryan, but I'm glad he's okay. Nothing happened. But Shane McMahon, you are. I'm just glad you're okay, man. So there's that. Yep. Apply right there. Yeah, I'm just replying back to you on Black Air Gaming. I do agree with you. She could, because again, she's not a bad wrestler. There's nothing to do with that. She could easily be a part of Raw. And if you remember when Raw first, like the post brand split, like in the opening package, like their intro video, Paige was part of the intro, so they was clearly gonna, they were clearly going to push Paige in some way or form. But since she was injured at the time, then she did wellness violation right afterwards. Didn't really help matters. So they just said, screw Paige, whatever. If in a miracle world, I would say this, in a miracle world, if Paige were to come back, they'll probably put her on SmackDown, because they're probably gonna think, she doesn't deserve to be on our A show anymore. I'm not saying SmackDown is like the B show. It's not that, in my opinion. I always think SmackDown is a lot more entertaining than Raw, even though I know SmackDown's the wrestling show and Raw's the entertainment show. So but that being said, I feel like they're gonna put on SmackDown because, again, no matter, despite what people think, Raw, we always consider WWE's main show. That always be considered their bread and butter. So with that being said, I think they'll put on SmackDown just because, who knows? It'll be a new start for her. Like, it would be a new start for her, so why not? Be facing some people that she never fought before, like in actually fought a lot of people on it. I think they might put her on. Shit, never mind. Put on Raw, because she fought Becky Lynch. She fought Charlotte. She fought Natalia. I think she fought Tamina. No, she never fought Tamina before. She fought Naomi before, but she never fought Lana before. So there's only a few options on Raw. She could fight. She's fighting a whole new slew of people. Nia Jax. She never fought Nia Jax before. She never fought Alexa Bliss before. At least on the main roster, she never fought. Oh yeah, and she never fought Carmella on SmackDown. That's the only other person. But she never fought Mickie James. She never fought Dana Brooke. She never fought Dana Brooke either. So there's that. So they could put her on either division, but I think she will come back as a heel. She has to. There's no way she would be considered at least WWE guys. They'll not build her as a face. So yeah, but no, I do agree, and I also agree with you where Smackdown Wrestling Show, Raw's the entertainment show. I always said that even to my brother when brand split happened. They specifically said it would feel like two different shows. Raw is pretty much for storylines and whatever. They're more storyline focused, so they're more promo. That's why they're more promo heavy focused to get the storyline across. Not saying SmackDown don't have stories. They have. Again, they're taking the NXT route in terms of stories, because the NXT writer, the head writer back in like 2014-15 NXT, he's doing SmackDown. So they focus more on the wrestling, just similar to what they did in NXT. So it works. They have an equal amount, but Raw is more on the storytelling side than the wrestling side, clearly. Except when it's like big time deal Monday Night Raw, like this past Raw, which we will go over in a second. The only other bit of piece, there was a lot of news, like newsworthy stuff. The bit of news that sadly for you fans of this show, it's over. Talking Smack is canceled as a weekly show. So when I say that, I mean Talk Smack is not canceled altogether. It'll just be like Raw Talk, where it only happened after the pay-per-view, and that freaking sucks. Talking Smack is the reason why SmackDown felt so different and great, because that extra half an hour they had was pretty much for promos. That's why SmackDown was always considered the wrestling show, because since they knew they had one less hour, they said, all right, screw it. For those 2 hours, we're going to focus on what this company's built around, wrestling. All the promos and stuff can happen on their half an hour post show, because that's all it is. It's a recap and post show. So like I think that's the reason why Talking Smack worked. And again, if it wasn't for Talking Smack, Miz would not be in the position that he's in right now. So yeah. It's sad that Talking Smack's not a weekly thing now. So now we're relegated to being just like Raw. There's two now. The main report that came out of this is the main reason why, besides the whole viewership thing, which I don't think personally matters in a way. I think the main reason why, because Vince McMahon doesn't like the non-scripted like style of talking smack where people can pretty much say whatever the hell they want. Which I always joked about that too. Like, again, how the hell is Daniel Bryan not fired after all the crap he said? Like, he publicly said TNA before. Like, he mentioned a bunch of stuff. He mentioned the tape like a couple weeks ago. He mentioned Donald Trump. Like, he does a bunch of stuff with that show because it's not scripted, not a part of the script. But my whole thing to Vince is, Vince, you're just now finding out a year later after the show debut. What made you, like, what possessed you? What possessed you to finally figure out, hey, let me do that? The point was that you never actually even watched the show then, because you like what just one day I believe you was like, hey, let me just watch this show Talking Smack. You realize, wait a minute, none of this is part of a script. All right, cancel it. You're just now finding out a year later. But that also proves the point where you're not really hands on deck. You're not really like hands on SmackDown than what people previously thought. People thought anything regarding the Raw and roster, Raw or SmackDown, Vince McMahon, he oversees it. I'm not saying you don't oversee SmackDown, but you don't oversee it to the point where if you would have oversaw what happened on SmackDown, you would also knew what's happening on Talking Smack. And since it took you a year to finally figure that out, you was like, nope, never mind, cancel it, or just make it just like Raw Talk, where it will only happen. It will be a scripted show, and it'll only happen after pay-per-views, pretty much like a post show. And then, by the way, I also miss like the SmackDown pre-show and the Raw pre-shows. That made and like it felt. I know it was because of doing cutting costs or whatever, but again, it added more live stuff to the. You had no idea how many times I turned into the Raw pre-show or SmackDown pre-show. Like, it gave more live content on the WWE Network to actually watch. Instead of just doing, like, video-on-demand stuff on the WWE Network, that's some more live stuff to look forward to. And you guys canceled that, too. It's a bunch of weird decisions. I know, yes, you had to take into account probably the viewership wasn't enough to justify producing the show or whatever. I know the show probably cost y'all money to produce anyway, so the viewership probably didn't justify that. But still, though, it was just interesting stuff. Like, I wish y'all make a Fashion Files Network show or Southpaw Regional Wrestling, which I know you guys are making a sequel to that, but still, put it on a network. Make it a weekly thing. Like, if you can add more stuff besides just regular, like, you can add some stuff to the network. But regardless, I'm sad. I mean, Talk Smack's not canceled. It just won't be the same again. I know Chris Jericho right there won't be the same again. So, yeah. There's that. I think that's it for the news. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Let me see how today you see. I'm so pissed that's all this year. Oh yeah, I forgot. Thank you, Black Area Gaming. See, you are very helpful today. Yeah, I forgot to mention the other bit of news that Rey Mysterio. You may remember him. He is in contract negotiations with WWE or Global Force Wrestling, so he's pretty much in talks with both companies, and we will see what happens there. It's funny because for Global Force Wrestling, they probably hit the gold mine that Rey Mysterio actually joined, because this is right around the time where Alberto Patron not only becomes their face of the company by winning both the Global Force Wrestling and Impact Wrestling titles, he got suspended. So I'm pretty sure Global Force Wrestling, he's in this whole battery situation, and the last thing Global Force Wrestling wants is their top head of the company to, like, their poster boy pretty much for Global Force Wrestling to be in this light that he's currently in right now. So you say, you know what, we need another guy, another Mexican, Rey Mysterio. Everybody loves him. He does no wrong. So why not? I mean, so if he does sign with Global Force Wrestling, I think they struck gold there, because all the kids, like, to this day, everybody loves Rey Mysterio. The kids will always love him. So it's like they will hit gold, and they'll probably get a new audience if Rey Mysterio actually joins GFW. But in terms of WWE, he could join. Let me see how old he is real quick. I know I'm going way off topic here. Let me see how old he is. He's 42. I mean, they're currently talking to Shelton Benjamin, who's also 42 too. So it's not only a real possibility that WWE will not rehire these people just because they look like they're old or whatever. So it's like, it's not out of the possibility. But if he were to join, I'm pretty sure he'll join the Raw roster, just because they want that more nostalgia. Because they want basically the top stars. I'm not saying AJ, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Cena are not top star, but they want their their top players on the Raw brand. That hence why the Hardy Boys are on Raw. They could have easily been on SmackDown. But again, the Raw is their A show. So someone like Rey Mysterio, they probably would have won the top, again, Mexican or Spanish wrestler of Spanish heritage on, since they have a big base, like fan base for Mexico. They will probably want a Mexican star, top star, with on Raw. So Rey Mysterio would be that thing. And yes, I am implying that Kalisto is not a top star. That waste of space known as Kalisto, so is not on the top. Is not a top star. So yeah, if Rey Mysterio were to join, I mean, I have no issue joining WWE, but in real, like, if I be all seriousness, if I had to really see people actually join, more than likely he'll join Global Force Wrestling, not because he hates WWE, but I feel like he knows if he just joined Global Force Wrestling, especially in position that's happening right now with Berto Patron, they might portray him as the top guy in the company. So if he would, and I think he would want to be the center of attention. So I think he will probably join Global Force Wrestling. I would love to see Rey Mysterio back in WWE, but I'm more than likely he might go to Global Force Wrestling just because of the less work schedule, and with his age, he probably doesn't want to do the same schedule that WWE probably wants to do. But then again, people thought the Hardys didn't want to have to do the same schedule that WWE is doing their live events and stuff. But look where we are now. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I think those are all the bit of me. Thank you, Black Air Game, for that last bit with Rey Mysterio. I completely forgot. And yes, we're all pissed about talking smack. Vince McMahon, he's out of touch. Have you ever seen an out of touch video? That sums up Vince McMahon perfectly. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up with the Cruiserweight division. I am definitely going to bring that up when we get to 205 Live in terms of what's happening with the future of the Cruiserweight division. And plus, I personally thought, in my opinion, 205 Live was the best show out of the week. And you'll probably think I'm crazy, but there's a reason why I say that. But we'll get to that when we get to 205 Live. So, with that being said, actually, Black Area Gaming, before I actually start, did you want to join me? I mean, since you're commenting, that means you might be available. You actually want to join me in the podcast? Yeah, I have no problem. Since this is the prediction show, I always wanted you to be on the podcast. So, did you want to join the podcast with me today? So just let me know. But before, so I'll let you, if you heard me, I'm asking if you want to join the podcast. So until then, we'll get into Raw. Let me get my drink. Raw pretty much it first of all was in the Bridgestone area. Or Bridgestone Arena. I said area. It was in the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. The main focus of the show was the whole Kurt Angle reveal. And boy, my God, holy crap. That's all I'm saying. First things first, we're actually going to start with sadly, I didn't watch this live, so I didn't get my genuine reactions. I had to watch it. I already knew what happened, but I still watched it just because I always make it a mission to never miss any wrestling whatsoever. We opened the show with Dean Ambrose opening because last week, after Miz was doing his Mizzy's Awards, Dean Ambrose attacked him because, again, he still wanted to revenge the fact he got screwed out of his Intercontinental title rematch. And also, Seth Rollins came to his aid because Miz name dropped him as well. So Seth Rollins came to aid. There was hitting signs of the Shield. But Dean Ambrose came out to talk about the Miz, and he wanted the Miz to come out, but Seth Rollins came out instead. And then we pretty much got the thing that we were probably waiting for the longest. Like, since Seth Rollins is a face now, an apology. He apologized because Dean Ambrose was kind of being a dick. He was kind of being like a little heelish, if you ask me. He was kind of being a dick and basically saying, hey, brother, like, you're not my brother. I used to have a brother, but he did look like you, but he stabbed me in the back. And Rollins, like, he finally apologized. Like, he said, I apologize, man. I wish I could take that back. I live with that every single day of my life. But the past is the past. We can move on. And whatever. And Dean Ambrose just said, no. He was like, no, fine. We'll make you feel any better. He can hit me in the back of the chair. He dropped his microphone. he turned around and he was like, let him, if he was gonna let him hit him or not. I thought that was like a very powerful match. It was like, you see, this is again where Raw lacks in like doing more, like focusing more on the wrestling and less in promos. They nailed the promos. I will admit to that. They do nail the promos. So like they do nail the promos. So with that being said, I thought it was like a very powerful promo between both Seth Rollins and Dean. Like the crowd really was into this segment. Dean Ambrose decided not to throw it, so clearly with him being the face, like he wasn't going to do it. Miz came out with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. They centered around the ring. Obviously, the numbers games got to him. It was 3-on-2. They was able to take out both Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and ending the segment, the Miz hitting Skull Crushing finale on Seth Rollins with his head hitting the chair, and yeah, ended just like that with Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel on top. I thought this was again good opening segment. I really liked the interaction between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins since they're both. It's been a while since it happened, since they're actually both faces now, and we finally got the interaction, and we finally. A conclusion to a 3-year story line with the whole Shield. Seth Rollins finally apologized, so that's we finally wrapped it up. He finally, since coming full circle from becoming a heel, aligned himself with Triple H to not align himself anymore. He became the Kingslayer, becoming his own man. He finally apologized. He was able to go back into he was able to seal off his past now. So now we can actually look forward to the future and see what's happening there. So with that, I thought that segment was really good. And I also love that the Miz came out too. He's like, yeah, he don't care. See, I love when we like do these intertwined storylines. Like we already had a few between Dean Ambrose and Miz, and now Seth Rollins involved. But there's like an inner storyline here, not just with those two, like an inner storyline between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins themselves. Can Dean Ambrose actually fully forgive Seth Rollins and actually just work with him and maybe possibly be part of a team? Maybe a Shield reunion. Hopefully without Roman Reigns, but maybe a Shield reunion. I thought that was a good segment though, so thumbs up in my book. Next we had Bayley versus Alexa Bliss in a one-on-one match. Nia Jax came out shortly before the match even began, being part of Alexa Bliss's aid, and Sasha Banks pretty much followed to make sure Nia Jax doesn't get involved. It wasn't a bad match, don't get me wrong. Everything was good. I liked it. Glad to see again the women's champion in a singles match on one weekend. It's been a while since that happened. She was mostly in a tag team match in a regular Raw. So yeah. Shockingly, Bayley for the second time actually got the pin. And this time she actually pinned the Raw Women's Champion. She got the pin in the tag team match, and then she was actually able to officially pin the Raw Women's Champion by herself one-on-one. So that was very interesting. I enjoyed the match, but like again, wow. Coming off from what probably the worst 2 months of Bayley's life, I'm glad that they're actually giving Bayley some wins. Now, does this hurt Alexa Bliss since she's champion? Not necessarily, especially if you're a heel champion. A heel champion, you're supposed to be the coward, or if you're a heel, you're supposed to be the coward, the guy or the girl who will whimsel their way into a win just barely and whatever. So the fact that she lost clean, I mean, does it hurt Alexa Bliss? Not really. If they continue to do this, it might hurt her a little bit if they continue to do this. But I think what they could focus on the fact that she only won because she was too distracted with was going on between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. So that's one way I guess they could protect Alexa Bliss by saying, she lost. All the commotion happening outside the ring that pretty much let her lose sight of the match. And that's why Bayley was able to capitalize. Overall, though, I thought this was a good segment. It was fine in my opinion. So, yeah. And this pretty much to further calculate what happened there. And I also, so I thought this was actually a good segment in my opinion. So, and also I forgot to mention with the incident happening between the Miz Taraj, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins next week is going to be a 2-on-3 handicap match, with the Miz and Dean Ambrose teaming up for the first time since the Shield, taking on the Miz Taraj. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I say that because also next week with this segment as well, since Bailey has beaten Alexa Bliss twice now, she feels like she deserves a shot at the title. So does Sasha Banks, because she won the match at Great Balls of Fire. She didn't win the title because Alexa Bliss purposely got herself counted out. So Kurt Angle said, you two are going to deal with this yourself, because next week it will be you two in a number one contenders match. And the winner will face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title. There is a bunch of scenarios that can happen here. Bailey one of them is turning heel. I'm telling you, one of them is turning heel. I'm calling it. It's going to be Bailey or it's going to be Sasha. I predict Sasha. I think Sasha might turn heel. I can't fathom seeing Bailey as a heel, so I think it's going to be Sasha. I'm just saying. Overall, though, I thought it was a good segment, and yeah, we'll look forward to see what's going to be happening next week in the All right, let me make sure I can hear myself. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see what's happening next week in terms of what's going to be happening between Sasha Banks and Bailey. We move on to the cruiserweights, and now first thing first, I think I have to point out the Oh, okay. So, all right. So sadly, guys, I just want to, before I start, sadly, back here again will be able to join us though. But he is going to give you he is going to give me his predictions for Battleground. So when we get to the Battleground segment, I'll be able to read off his predictions on the live stream. So again, thank you, Black Aaron Game, for even showing up to the podcast anyway. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And we will king podcast, and I'll definitely read off your predictions when we get to the Battleground portion. But again, with the cruiserweight, I think I have to talk about the elephant in the room here. For the first time since the cruiserweights debuted on Raw all the way back in September, the ropes were red. And like the ropes were red, and the mat didn't even change. Usually, it'll put the cruiserweight thing on the mat, like on the ring mat. None of that. It was red. It said Raw. And the only cruiserweight aesthetic was just like on the Titantron saying cruiserweight, but that's perfectly fine because that's what happened on the debut episode of Raw. So now we won't. The thing is, we can speculate all we want. Where it's like, hey, they're gonna make the cruiserweights feel like they're part of the show instead of changing the ropes purple because hey, we might as well just keep the ropes red for Raw because they are part of the Raw roster, even though they have their own exclusive show, 205 Live. They are part of the cruiserweight division is exclusive to the Raw roster, so might as well make them seem like they're actually part of the roster. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Now we can only speculate because we won't fully know until next week if this was just merely a production error. The crew didn't have enough time to change the ropes. And I couldn't even tell you how long commercial break was because I was at work at the time. So I couldn't even officially say it in live person. I couldn't even tell you it was because of the production error or anything. So we won't officially know until next week on Raw if this was done on purpose or this was simply a production error where it's like they didn't have no time to change the ropes to the ring. So they said, F it. They just said, screw it. So yeah. However, actually, I can confirm. No, because the same thing with the second cruiserweight match of the night as well. So it's like I don't know. I really don't know if that if this is like we won't now. Again, this would either be the case of they didn't have the purple ropes with them because it was part of the smack. They probably only have one. This is just all speculation. They probably have one rope, and they took it with the Smackdown brand since they're on. They tape to. They air 205 Live where Smackdown is, so they probably forgot it with them. It's a bunch of speculation. We won't fully know, so I won't get all like googly inside that they're actually, oh my god, they're actually treating the cruiserweights as part of the show. They make it seem like they tell the people, hey, this is just as important as anything else happening on the show. That's because if the ropes was changed purple, they're pretty much saying, hey, so if you don't like the cruiserweights, you can leave now. You're fine. They're saying, hey, this is just as important as anything else on the show. Sure, I have no issue with it saying cruiserweights like on like the Titantron or whatever, because that will pretty much tell the fans this is a cruiserweight match you're watching. I have no issue with that because you want to distinguish the fact that, hey, you're not just some random people. These are cruiserweights. I have no issue with that part, but changing the whole ropes and everything, that's where I kind of had an issue with. But I wanted to keep it exclusive to 205 Live. So saying, hey, you only see these purple ropes in the ring in 205 Live, but again, they're also part of the Raw roster, so they should just keep the ropes red just because. So we won't fully find out if this was the case until next week's Raw airs. So yeah, but getting back to the whole point of cruiserweights themselves. Hold on, watching Christians were So, what were I saying? So, in return, I mean, in regards to the actual cruiserweight match itself, we had Johnny Gallagher and Mustafa Ali versus Brian Kendrick and Drew Gulak in a tag team match. Now, this was pretty much building up. This was pretty much a build up or like a final build, basically, as you could say, for the big match on 205 Live, which, in my opinion, I feel like with what happened on 205 Live, I feel like this was the best show in the week. Not only for like the best, probably the best 205 Live match in the history of 205 Live, I think it was like this made 205 one of the better shows of the week, in my opinion. So with that being said, this is building up to that 2 out of 3 fall match between Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak, and also since there was a feud between Brian Kendrick and Johnny Gallagher, they said screw me and make it a tag team match. I think it was like a decent, fairly paced. They gave the match enough time because again, this was simply building up to the 2 out of 3 falls match, and since they wrestled the next day, they probably didn't want to wear out Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak for the match that they had on 205 Live, which we'll definitely get into when we get to the 205 Live part of you. But overall, I thought it was a good segment. Mustafa Ali and Jeremy Gallagher won when Jeremy Gallagher hit the headbutt on Brian Kendrick. He tagged Mustafa Ali, and Mustafa Ali hit the inverted 450. So, yeah. I thought it was a good match. It was, again, just simply a build-up and just furthering the feud, not only Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick, but also the final build for Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak for that 2 out of 3 fall match. Next, we get to a weird segment between Big Cass and Enzo. So first, Enzo came out. You see, now, with Great Balls, here's the issue. Hold on. The issue I have with this, because Great Balls of Fire, with the match that Big Cass and Enzo had, they made me believe that was going to be their last encounter or whatever. Enzo was not going to be involved in anything Big Cass was doing. They were saying how Big Cass can go to further things and great things, but we don't know the fate of Enzo. That was perfect. That was perfect. You're basically saying the fact that Big Cass would be on his own doing whatever mid-card stuff that he was going to do. And in terms of Enzo, this was the perfect way to introduce him to the cruiserweight division. I feel like Enzo will be a big boost for the cruiserweights and for 205 Live. Like, it'll be a big boost. I know it would have been jarring. Like, I'm not saying make him debut the next week of Raw, which they didn't, which I'm glad they didn't, or the next night of Raw. I'm glad they didn't do that. They actually kept Enzo off of TV last week. But what you call it? Now Enzo's apparently still back in the storyline, and it's like, no. This was a perfect. I'm saying, like, I feel like what they were trying to do was that Akira Tozawa was going to give him and that one more match probably on 205 Live, and then next month, so they can start building the SummerSlam for the cruiserweights. They're going to introduce Enzo to the 205 Live division. I mean, to the cruiserweight division. So I'm kind of irritated that he's still part of it. There's no reason why he should be a part of the storyline anymore. The storyline, any storyline that involves Big Cass does not need to involve Enzo. Like the whole Big Show thing, there was no need to involve Enzo because they already established this feud already in the beginning before they broke up. So there was no need to even have Enzo part of it because there was already seeds planted in this feud between him and Big Show. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that Enzo came out. He was to give him a passionate promo again. Big Cass came out and say, I'm going to kick your ass, basically, because you talk too much. Enzo said, no, you're not. I'm going to be in the crowd watching your ass get kicked. And who comes out? Big Show. And then it got weird because the next thing you know, Big Cass beating the shit out of Big Show, and then he beat the shit out of Enzo. So, Like it was, yeah, that was kind of jarring. Completely 180 from what happened last week. Big Show beat the hell out of Big Cass. I know you had to give Big Cass momentum, but there's like no match announced for SummerSlam between these two. So it was kind of like, hey, they'll probably might announce it next week. I can see that happening next week because why not? And Enzo might be in this corner, but I still feel like Enzo could be a part. Like he can draw big. There's no like marquee match for the cruiserweights yet for SummerSlam that I can think of off the top of my head, unless it's Noam Dar. It could be Noam Dar, face Noam Dar versus Now, I personally feel like after that almost a year storyline that he was doing, I personally feel like Noam Dar deserves a title shot. And what better title shot than on SummerSlam? But that's personally my opinion. Otherwise, yeah, this segment was kind of weird. I wasn't really feeling it because it just did a complete 180. I don't know where this leads, and I was just kind of irritated that Enzo was there, and it was just so weird. So yeah, don't know really how to feel about that one. Then we had Finn Balor versus Elias Sampson, and the match in via disqualification. The match really never got going because it got going, but it ended abruptly via disqualification because Elias Sampson was hit him with a nasty shot on the guitar. It actually cut open Finn Balor in the head, on the side of his head. So that was something else. It was kind of a sight to see right there. So the match in disqualification. Finn Balor did actually beat Elias Sampson for a second time in a row, but this time it was via disqualification. As Finn Balor was getting helped out, Bray Wyatt appeared on the screen, and he was basically saying he was pretty much mocking Finn Balor throughout the match, declaring that he was some all power available to him to punish the Irish superstar. Yeah, this would have been perfectly fine had the not jarring way they abruptly ended the feud in the first place, because the way that the seeds were planted all the way back in, dare I say, June. I want to say June. Shit, what happened in June? April, May was holy shit. May was Extreme Rules. I want to say no. April was Extreme. April was Payback. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see something. All right, so April was Payback, and June was Extreme Rules. So this pretty much happened. So I was right in May. So there you go. I was right. I wasn't crazy. Oh yeah, I was not crazy. So May was the bill when they first interacted with each other, Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. So that happened, and it just ended abruptly because Bray Wyatt cost Finn Balor the number one contenders match. Oh crap, Ron! Holy shit, dude! I didn't know you were busy now. Let me drag you in right now. Sorry, guys. I got it, Ron, right now. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, Ron. I didn't know you were. I didn't know if you was busy or not, because I know it was on the Thursday. I didn't know you were busy or not. So I just invited Ron in, so I won't just be talking as well. Ron will be part of it, and this is perfect. He could give us our prediction. Like we could do our full-fledged predictions. So just give us 1 second, guys. Ron will be a part of the show probably momentarily. So just give it a second. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait. But no, pretty much I'll just finish my thought for Finn Balor, and then basically the feud, as Ron clarified for me, I completely forgot. It didn't happen until after Superstar Shakeup, not the draft, but Superstar Shakeup, where that's when Bray Wyatt first showed up on Raw, and it just ended abruptly without helping. Here's Ron.
Yo.
My bad, Ron. I could
podcasting.
No, because to be honest with you, I actually wasn't planning on even podcasting today after the week I had. making me pretty much work every day. So I was going to say screw it. But then I said to myself, no, this is my show, weekly show. So I have to at least put some type of effort. And I just completely forgot.
No, it's cool. I kind of had a lazy day myself and some other things going on personal wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like I'm not doing anything. And then I'm like,
hold on, Ron. Yeah, like you're going in and out with your mic.
Yeah, you hear me now?
No, I can hear you. It's like you say something and it's like. Zzz,
what about now?
Say something again.
What about now?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But yeah.
Actually, no. It went right back to it.
God damn it! All right, I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna come back.
Or just you could just like mute. Like you could just I guess yeah. Hopefully, I can invite you back.
No, I still got the thing. I'm gonna hang up and come back.
Okay. All right. So as Ron comes back, yeah. Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor. They first started when Bray Wyatt came to Raw with Superstar Shakeup. It ended abruptly when Bray Wyatt cost Finn Balor an Intercontinental title match, and we never got anything out of it.
All right, what about now?
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, now back to what you were saying.
All right. So I mean, well, I'll talk about the personal stuff later off air.
All right, no problem.
So to come in, I saw you talking about the whole Finn Balor
Bray Wyatt thing, yeah.
Bray Wyatt thing. So that actually started, I would say, a week or two after the draft.
Okay.
And what was the draft, like late April?
It was like a week after WrestleMania.
Okay, so like a week or two after that, that's when they started. Because remember, Bray Wyatt calls Finn Balor the Intercontinental belt and everything. But also, they was going to have a feud, but then that's when they did the whole thing of the six-man.
The Fatal 5-Way match.
Yeah, the Fatal 5-Way match and everything like that. And they kind of just mix everything up, being to the fact of like, well, we got to put these people and have them do something and everything. So I kind of put that
on
feud
hold.
between because for some reason they had a feud with Wyatt and Rollins, and then Balor and Elias Sampson, which was just out of nowhere. They just pretty much give them something to do. So I'm guessing now that this Wyatt and Wyatt and Rollins feud was just a one-off, really. I mean, he only had like one pay-per-view match and one Raw match, Braun winning both of them. Since they both since that was already done, I guess Bray Wyatt just moved on because I feel like something big is happening with Rollins and Ambrose coming up in SummerSlam. That's going to evolve like the Miz and the Mizraj. So they're trying to get that storyline going on, and they're kind of leaving that whole thing with Wyatt and Rollins alone, and they're trying to start up this Balor and Wyatt thing. But now you're going to have to finish off this Sampson and Balor feud now, so they can move on with that.
Now, and I like that you point out the Miz thing. Now, the rumor is it's because now, I think this rumor has some merit. Apparently, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are going to be a tag team.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because like I looked through the tag team division on Raw. Besides the Hardys and Heath Slater and Rhino, there's no other face tag teams.
Yeah.
So it's like since the Hardys already had their chance against Sheamus and Cesaro, I highly doubt Heath Slater and Rhino is going to be the next people in line for the opportunity. So they probably need a new face tag team, so they're going to give it to Ambrose and Rollins. They need a new face tag team, like a top face tag team. So I think that's what they're building towards.
And it's kind of a shame because the fact of like, I feel like this probably wouldn't happen if WWE wasn't so fast or breaking up tag teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that's all they're really doing right now is the fact of the past couple of weeks.
They broke up.
It seems like they broke up like 3 tag teams.
They broke up, which actually I won't get into yet since we're about to reveal that. I won't say that, but they broke up Enzo and Cass. Who else did they break up? They broke up the Golden Truth. Yeah, so they broke up 2 teams within like less than a month, and now they just broke up another one, which we'll get into shortly in a couple probably segments after this. because of it, because of that segment that happened to Raw blowing Kurt Angle, which is something else. So I'm glad that you actually came because it was right before we was actually about to get into that. So yeah. But in terms of finishing off the Finn Balor and Elias Sampson thing, I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually glad they held off on Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor because two reasons. One, I feel like this was worthy of a SummerSlam feud anyway. And two, this actually made a star out of Elias Sampson. Because, again, since he really didn't do much on NXT, it was kind of questionable what was he going to do in the main roster, and especially on Raw. But the way they're treating him like a big deal, at least for now, for him to feud with Finn Balor, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and I kind of feel I have the same feeling too. I kind of feel like that I won't say like Wyatt is trying to start a new Wyatt family.
And I guess Elias Sampson has a beard,
But I will say the fact of for some reason it seems like that Elias Sampson kind of has this dark presence with him. It's like what he says, who wants to walk with?
Who wants to walk with Elijah? That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing from him.
And being to the fact of like, if you look at someone like Wyatt's a kind of person who say, "I'll walk with you. I want to see where this goes."
And that would be interesting. Plus, and you just look back the way he's been booked. He never lost to Dean Ambrose with that short thing that they had. It was either through disqualification or he actually pinned him. He got a pin over, I forgot who it was, so I think Apollo Crews. And now this whole thing with Finn Balor, even though he did lose last week, he got his come up in the following week. So it's
his win loss is not abysmal.
Exactly, that's my point. And that's because the way he's been booked. So it's like after this feud, I can easily see him going into like a title feud, not the world title feud, but like the Intercontinental title feud if there was other face person holding the title.
Yeah.
Like the way he's been booked. So it's like this is the way I would feel like they should treat when people get caught up to the main roster. This is personally how I feel like they should do it. And I think Elias Sampson's probably the best example of recent memory how they besides Samoa Joe, how they treat someone coming up from NXT. So yeah. Next week there will be a those qualification match, I think, to finally finish this between Finn Balor and Elias Sampson. So just before we get to that, who do you think's gonna win next week?
I want to go with Finn, just to make him look strong going into the Wyatt. Fear. Unless Wyatt interferes, which I don't.
I think that's gonna. I think Elias Sampson's gonna win solely because since there's no qualification, Bray Wyatt's gonna do his magic, come in the ring, cost Finn Balor the match, and make Elias Sampson win.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean that's one thing, but also at the same time, like I said, like I kind of feel like the best thing for them to do is to let Balor win and let him go into this
definitely
this new feud strong instead of going in, like
weak. No, I get it. It's already a loss, which it was just kind of funny if you think about it because that's the way Bray Wyatt's been going in every feud. But recently, now he hasn't been booked like that.
Yeah,
he beat Seth Rollins. He was booked dominantly leading up to that Fatal 5-Way match, and he beat Seth Rollins in the next pay-per-view. So far he's been squeaky clean. He hasn't been pinned or submitted on a pay-per-view ever since the after WrestleMania. So it's like he's been good.
Yeah.
So moving on to the actually one more thing because actually two more things. What do you think was going to happen between the 2 out of 3 falls match? I mean, I said 2 out of 3 falls. That's later. Next week on Raw is going to be 2-on-3 handicap with Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose versus the Miz Taraj.
I think Ambrose and Rollins. I mean, I would say Ambrose and Rollins. Yeah, I was right. Ambrose and Rollins. I think those two are going to win because, like you said, like the fact that those two are going into a somewhat of a tag team. It'll make them look strong, and being to the fact, like I don't see the Miz getting pinned.
Oh yeah,
I see somebody else getting pinned.
You're definitely right on that.
And everything, so I feel like that's how that might go.
But then that leads into an interesting scenario. If Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose is truly going into a tag team, which means they won't be focusing on the Miz anymore. So the real question is, who would face Miz next?
That's a good question.
Because I'm looking at, as always, I always look at the roster when I do these types of things. Unless Enzo's not going to 205 Live, which I personally think he is, there's not really a legit other person on, like, as a single star on the Raw roster.
They might come up with something. They might.
And it's a long shot. I think it might be Goldust.
A lot of people, actually, to be truth be told, a lot of people have saying that they want a Goldust Miz feud, but
just because he has the Intercontinental title.
Not just that, but like Miz is a movie star, Goldust is
yeah, I can see that.
It's kind of a movie critique person, and then like the Miz might have Goldust watch one of his movies, and Goldust says that it's stupid, and then those two might feud or whatever like that, and whatever. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to do that because Goldust is a heel, and the Miz
exactly. That's my point. So unless Goldust turns face, which is going to be weird, all of a sudden, the only other viable option is Enzo. But I personally feel like Enzo would be better off.
I don't think Enzo is getting any type of title anytime soon. Especially like to tell you the truth.
No, I'm not saying that he would get the title. I'm saying that would be his next feud. I'm not saying he would actually.
No, not even that. I don't see him
in a title picture.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't see him wrestling anymore coming up in the near future. To be honest.
Now, why do you think that? I'm curious.
Because really, when you look at it, Enzo and Cass. Enzo was the mouthpiece. Cass was the wrestler. And not saying that Enzo can't wrestle.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's just like
it's just like
to take him seriously. That's not like he was never really the wrestler.
Yeah, it was always
Big Cass doing the work.
Yeah, so
no, reason, I mean, yeah.
He's good. He's good on the mic. We all know he's good on the mic. For some reason, I kind of seem like that they might stick him into commentary soon, or he might be a host soon.
No, I do. I mean, I guess we won't know until we find out. But the only reason why I slightly disagree with that because he's a seller, like he's a merchandise seller.
I mean, yes, he's. So
it's like for him not to wrestle, but still be able to
But also at the same time, let's look at Enzo's win-loss record. I hate to do this, but let's look at his win-loss record when he's solo.
Yeah, he never won a match solo.
Yeah. Or he's won like 1 or 2
out of 20 or 30 matches.
Yeah.
So no, I do agree with you on that. So it's
like they just because the whole rumor is the fact that they kind of Vince likes seeing him getting thrown around,
which is weird,
and everything like that. And it's after a while, it's like maybe I feel like I just feel like personally that they're gonna occasionally bow him out of wrestling, and he might go into the commentating role.
I can see that.
No, maybe do like a host of SummerSlam, the host of like the Miz did it one year when he was the host of
SummerSlam,
yeah, something like that.
I mean, no, I could personally see that too. The more put it that way, it's just, I mean, for him to be a merchandise seller and it's like him not, it's gonna be kind of jarring though. I mean, he'll be the only superstar to pull that off, but it's gonna be kind of jarring.
I mean, it sucks, but it's just I just don't see him doing anything else.
The only thing I could possibly think of is to make him write him off TV for a few months so he can go back to Performance Center and actually get his ring skills up or whatever. Not saying that he can't wrestle, but if they want him to actually really improve or whatever. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Future be told. But and the only last thing is Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Who do you think win that number 1 contenders match?
I feel like Sasha's going to win that because I feel like that. Well, the main reason why I think Sasha's going to win that is because I think they already had plans with Bayley And if that whole thing is true,
Jesus Christ, that's gonna be ridiculous if that is true.
yeah. So not to mention, it will be kind of it'll just be kind of out there. And I'm sorry if I'm just like distracted. I'm trying to get this damn thing.
No.
But it will be way out there. If just suddenly, Sasha Banks has to get her rematch. Even though she won.
No, I mean she rightfully deserves. Yeah, that's my point. So she rightfully deserves a rematch since she didn't win the title, but she did win.
Yeah, and it's like that. It would just be kind of out of nowhere if she just doesn't get a rematch. So I think Sasha's going to win that one on Monday.
All right. I think it might be Sasha. But I can't see Bayley winning without. I don't know. There might not be a heel turn, but I can't see Bayley winning. That's all I can say.
I don't think there's going to be a heel turn. It's going to be a mutual respect thing.
I mean, with the curveball they threw at us with Kurt Angle, I mean anything's possible now. But before we get into that, there's one more segment before that, which was the cruiserweights again with Daivari versus Kira. Now I pointed this out in the previous cruiserweight match. In your opinion, do you think there was just simply a production error, or they actually thought about it for a second? What I mean by that is that the cruiserweight match, they didn't change the ropes to the ring at all. It still stayed with Raw. Do you think it's because they were too lazy, or?
No, I heard that one of the trucks didn't come that had the cruiserweight things.
You see, and I was giving out my hopes up for nothing
because they had the cruiserweight ropes for 205 Live, didn't they?
Yeah. But you see, but the thing is, they kind of had no choice because it's like that's their own show. It has to be purple. It could be jarring if it's blue. But I'm talking about like that's why I would like to see. I'm giving WWE the benefit of the doubt here. I would like to think that they purposely chose not to because they have all. I'm pretty sure the people who changed the ropes and stuff, they're masters at it at this point for doing it for almost a year to quickly change it. So for them. I mean, you could be right about the whole truck thing. I just feel like they maybe purposely not because
I overheard it was just a truck thing, but at the same time, because like I said, I feel like they get the shaft when he's like, okay, we change the ropes, get ready for a cruiserweight match, and then it turns around and it's just a talking segment that only lasts for 5 minutes.
And I feel like they said, "Fuck that!" Like they're wasting time.
Yeah, only for them to turn it right back around to the Raw thing. And everything. So like, there was that one episode where I'm just like, then what was the fucking point of changing the ropes for a talking segment or a match that was like 5 minutes long? So
maybe they thought.
But I heard the rumor that the reason why it was like that because one of the trucks was like broken down or something like that. That truck had the cruiserweight stuff on there.
Damn. So I mean, I guess we won't really know until next week if they actually.
Yeah, I mean, if they decide to, hey, this is actually a cool idea, let's not use it, then that's up to them. But that's just what I heard.
But regardless, basically the interesting point about this is that the match actually stopped, and that was because of Titus O'Neil. He stopped it because Akira was getting hit with the arm, the same arm that will try to injure him with the Rings of Saturn last week on 205 Live. So Daivari kept attacking it. And because of that, Titus O'Neil stopped it, and then Akira got super pissed off at Titus O'Neil, saying, "You don't care about me." It was funny. I couldn't take that promo seriously because Akira kept saying after everything he said. So I was kind of laughing when he was doing it, but yeah. So that eventually led a backstage segment between the two, and he said he wanted a rematch against Daivari on 205 Live. So any thoughts on this?
It's just pretty much the storytelling,
Just leading up to 205 Live, yeah.
Leading up to 205 Live and everything. Something that some people say they don't need, but they're just doing it anyway.
Yeah. But I feel like they're actually trying to build Daivari now, probably because since they realized, oh shit, they lost Austin Aries, so I guess we had to build another star. So
well, not just that too, but also, and I don't really watch 205 Live. Not saying because I don't like 205 Live because usually I go to bed early and I have to get ready for work this morning. But what I noticed with the two matches that they had the past couple of weeks, I sort of noticed that they're finally ending certain feuds.
Yes, they're finishing off, and especially, and I don't know if you watched 205 Live this week. I feel like this was probably best 205 Live they ever made, especially solely because of the 2 out of 3's fall match. I feel like that was the best 205 Live match they have done, period. Because it capped off this feud, and the way they did it was so perfect.
Yeah, like I didn't see it because I went to bed, but it's just the fact of this is the second week in a row where they had a long-standing feud. Pretty much seemed like this was the end.
Exactly.
One with the I Quit match the week before, and now this, and now you also have Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick, and that's a freshly new feud.
Exactly. So they're building new ones, I guess, leading up to SummerSlam. And I like how 205 Live approaches that. Like these big stipulation matches is just on 205 Live, so it makes it seem like 205 Live is actually important. Like it won't be on a pay-per-view or whatever. They say you could also just catch this on 205 Live. Which I feel like that's probably the best route they can go with this. Like these big I can personally see probably a steel cage match happening at one point eventually on 205 Live. Like something along the lines of that, just to make it feel like it's big.
Yeah, I can see that happening one time.
Yeah, so there's that. We'll talk more about Barry Daivari characters out on 205, or at least I will on 205 Live. We can get to that.
Now I'm not as much as I wanted to jump on. At a certain time, I'm gonna head
but
out.
I would. Yeah.
Well, no, at a certain time, I'm gonna head out. Not because of last time. I'm actually feeling fine, but I have to take out the trash.
Oh no, I do.
Stuff like that, and I have to do it at a certain time before it starts raining. Because it's supposed to rain tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're probably gonna. Yeah, we should be quick on this. Yeah. But yeah, we're actually getting to now. We're gonna talk about this segment. Kurt Angle. So.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle. Yeah. So Kurt Angle, sadly, again, I was working, so I wasn't watching this live, but my brother told me exactly when I thought he was bullshitting me. But Kurt Angle, he came out, this is just pretty much leading up to everything that happened for the months where he getting these text messages. This whole thing would ruin his career. He was debating whether or not to go publicly about this, and he just said, screw it. We're going to go about this tonight. And pretty much to sum up, he in college, he was dating a girl, and he just found out now that during that time period, she got pregnant and she had a child after all these years, and he's just now finding out. And now since he found out, he wanted to reveal it to the world, and that person was none other than Jason Jordan. What are your thoughts on that?
2 years ago, there was a meme that went out. Actually, it was about 2 or 3 years ago, but there was a meme that went out that had Sharmell and Kurt Angle saying that what happened if these two had from a long-standing feud? I mean, a feud between Kurt Angle and Booker T. It was like, what would have happened if Kurt Angle and Sharmell actually hooked up? They had Jason Jordan. That was just a meme. That was just a joke. Now it's canon.
Yep.
Except for Sharmell. Okay, except for Sharmell, this is canon now. This is a real thing.
I mean,
like I said, I was talking to my friend about it yesterday. I was like, it's kind of like if Vince McMahon just went on the internet one day and was like, hey, Kurt, listen, I just saw this great, funny picture that you and Sharmell had sets and that y'all made they did Jason Jordan. I got the idea. How about we actually make that happen? Well, I can't find Sharmell, but how about we just say that you hooked up with some chick in college and you had Jason Jordan, you didn't know about it.
It's but you see the issue with that is that in continuity that would be impossible because the whole Booker T and Sharmell thing happened like 2005 or 6.
I mean,
so I know.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't, but I do get your point though. I mean,
not counting Sharmell. Okay, just putting.
He took the idea though. I know he took the idea.
He took the idea of it and was just like, let's make this canon. Let's actually have Jason Jordan be your son.
Damn.
Like, what the fuck?
I mean, when I first found out, when my brother texted me when I was at work, when he said it was Jason Jordan, I said you were bullshitting me. Like, I thought it was bullshit. Like, this is just so out of fucking left field. Like, well, I mean, now the more I think about it, there's two reasons why I think they did this. One, I think the original idea was supposed to be something involving Triple H, but I guess they decided to hold off on that. So they're gonna do this instead in the meantime. And the other reason why I think is because I feel like they was originally probably gonna do something with Dixie Carter, and I think they saw the fan backlash on that on the internet. So they said, all right.
The thing is that I thought that all right. So I talking to one of my other friends. He said that and I'm like, it's stupid to think this, but he thought that they were going to admit that Kurt Angle was gay. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
There's no build up to that. No, like if you know WWE's build up on storylines, there was no build up for him to be like, hey, Kurt Angle's been looking at me kind of funny, or hey, you ever notice that Kurt Angle has been acting like this lately, or something like that. Like there was no build up to that. So for him just to come out and be like, I'm gay is like, yeah, that's knowing them, they probably would have done that a little better than just him saying I'm gay.
Exactly.
I had thought that it was going to be, hey, apparently I'm in love with Dixie Carter and everything like that, and that's why we had Dixie Carter here.
I personally thought too. Otherwise, I don't see the reason.
Because we were in Nashville, and Dixie Carter is on WWE TV. She doesn't work for Richard Come anymore. So I mean, for Global Force Wrestling TNA, whatever the fuck you want to be called. So it's like that can happen.
I just don't. I just find it hilarious. Because like the reason why I find it so hilarious is that this type of storyline I thought was over a long time ago. Because all the current like stuff that WWE does now, they're in a realistic setting. Like there's no storyline like that's in like a fantasy. Like this wouldn't really happen in real life right now. This is one of these storylines where it's like, okay, now we're back to doing kayfabe, where it's like we know for a fact this is not Jason Jordan's actual father.
Oh yeah,
but at the same, so I thought like we were past that.
At the same time, if they do this right, then yeah. Because I mean, everyone was saying that he kind of reminds me of him, or something like that. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's stupid.
I mean, I have to give it Kurt Angle though. It looks like he's really into it because the second Jason Jordan music played, like he was down in tears. So it's like at least he's committed to the storyline. I gotta give him that. So yeah. So any final thoughts on the big reveal for Kurt Angle?
Let's just see how it goes.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Revival versus the Hardys. I figured they was gonna say this for SummerSlam, but I guess they're well. I mean, they could still have a rematch at SummerSlam, but yeah. So they went at it, both teams. I'd like to point out Gallows' answer was looking on the screen as well, so I don't know how they might get involved in this, but so they fought, and it's actually the first Revival match that they came back since that's why I got injured. So glad to see him back. They went out. It was a very good, decent match back and forth. I will say that. So with that being said, though, near the end of the match, yes, I'm looking. So no number. I mean, there's no like. It's a blank number, so I'm not gonna pick it. I don't pick.
You know what? All right. Before we get to that, lately my phone has been giving me a thing of scam likely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
No point picking up. I mean, it's like I don't have it sitting into my contact, so clearly it's not important. If they call how I do it, if it was important, they will call back again. So that's why I was like, if they call back immediately afterwards, like, okay.
I usually let them leave a message, and if it's something important,
then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. But yeah, ignore that. But basically, how this match ended was when first of all, Michael Cole clearly don't know what the fucking Whispering in the Wind is.
No, he doesn't.
When he said I was whispering to Ren, Jeff Hardy was going to go. I think it was Jeff Hardy. I don't want to be. It was either Matt or Jeff. I don't know which one.
Well, the reason why they were working on Matt, number one, was because Jeff actually had a performance after Raw. Yeah, Jeff has his band Paiwagen.
Yeah.
And he actually had an album release party right after Raw. I saw pictures because both Sasha Banks and a bunch of people went. Like Sasha Banks,
okay, that makes sense. Then I make that makes
like
sense.
that. So they didn't. So the reason why they worked on Matt Hardy more than just Jeff, because they probably didn't want the possibility of Jeff getting hurt while he has a show coming up.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That would be something of like, well, we can't. Jen has to cancel the night because Jeff Hardy got badly injured during the match. So so that's the reason why you saw Matt more in the match than Jeff, because a lot of people was confused about that and everything.
I got it.
I feel like that this match, number one, the Hardys had to lose this match to tell the story and everything like that. Like the Hardys going to get their redemption.
Yeah.
But number one, I feel like the Hardys had to lose this match because one,
the Revival just came back. Yeah,
they just came back. Let's start them off strong, and then work your way from there.
Yep. No, you are absolutely right about that, because like at least the Hardys can take any loss, because again, they're the Hardys. They're not like they were not some B-list tag team back in the day. They were literally the top of their division. So for them taking a loss now, it just shows that maybe, hey, these guys are actually slightly better than what you probably thought they were. So getting the Revival win was good. And also, again, because the Hardys would just beat the Revival, just ended the storyline here.
Yeah.
Right here. So this glad they actually
also, because you also got to remember, I want to see how this is going to go. Like you had mentioned, the whole tag team thing, how we really don't have that many tag teams left.
Exactly.
And most of the tag teams that we do have
are heels.
So I kind of feel like that they're not going to break up the Hardys, but the Hardys is not going to do too much, and that they are going to probably have someone like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins doing it. But you also got to remember that a couple weeks ago, they had when back in LA, before LeVar Ball did his thing and fucked up celebrities for a while, they had another celebrity come on, and he was talking about a movie that him and Sheamus is going to be in.
Exactly, yeah.
And apparently, the rumor is that Sheamus is always going to drop the belt sometime around SummerSlam.
I like to think that they will, yeah.
Yeah, so Sheamus can go. So Sheamus can go ahead and do this movie, because he's going to be written off TV for a couple of weeks.
Which would explain why they weren't even at Raw. Period.
They haven't been at Raw for the past couple of weeks.
Exactly. I said that would explain the reason why. So they're probably just trying. And there's been no reference. Again, there's been no reference of them or even the tag team titles this week, or at least this week's Raw. Nobody referenced them. So it's like, hey, kind of don't exist at the moment. I mean, I was just glad, because at least they'll focus on the other teams at the moment, since they are the tag team champions. They really don't need that much of a focus. So that does work out for them. Yeah, I do get your point, though. Eventually, they're gonna have to drop the belts eventually. So I guess I think this actually makes perfect sense. I think they're trying to build the fact that, hey, there's a new team coming, and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins want to build them up for a second, not build them up, but establish the fact that they're a team. So then when Sam Cesaro comes back and they drop the titles, they'll drop the titles to them probably.
Yeah,
or something like that. But yeah. Any final thoughts on this before we get to the main event?
No, not really.
All right, so let's get to this main event. This was match of the night in my opinion. It was good. And this is the only match I caught. I literally, when I came home, this match literally just started. So I'm glad I was able to catch it. This was probably best match Roman Reigns has done in months. Especially in the main event. It was Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. The winner would face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Very back and forth match. I mean, I really thought that they would use, I should say, screw it, just give this to Samoa Joe. But I see the route that they're going now, because the match, we don't even have a decisive winner because Braun Strowman came out. He made his return. Now, I don't know if he's considered a face or heel, though. That's the issue that we put ourselves in, because you would think Roman Reigns is the heel because he attempted murder. I mean, he pretty much tried to do attempted murder on Braun Strowman, the Great Balls of Fire, and yet he was still considered a fucking heel. I mean, he was still considered a face. And it's like, what?
All right, so I do have a logic for that. You go ahead and continue. I have a logic for this.
No, go ahead.
All right, so a lot of people has been saying this. So have I. Like Roman Reigns is a face, but he committed murder.
Yes.
This ain't the first time that someone has come a face has done something like murder. And for some reason, they still get cheered. Like that's like, for instance, I just read something. I'm sorry.
No.
Like for instance, I'm glad I read this because it almost made me forget about it. But same time, it just made me remind myself about this. Do you remember? This actually might date myself, but there was a match back at WCW where it was Hulk Hogan versus the Giants, right?
Okay.
But let's see if you know what I'm talking about with this. It was Hulk Hogan versus the Giant, but it was a monster truck match.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, especially the ending.
Okay, and yes, so you know the ending, and you know that Hulk Hogan pushed the Giant off of because they was on top of the building, up top of like whatever stadium that they were doing this at. They were on top of it, and after Hulk Hogan apparently, I think the Giant actually won that match, that monster truck match, if I can remember right. I'm not 100% sure, but apparently they both got out. They both started fighting. It was in the edge. Giant started choking Hulk Hogan towards the edge, but then Hulk Hogan did something, and that's for the Giant fell. And it's like, and he fell off the building. And Hulk Hogan's like, oh, surprised, like, oh my God, he's dead. And then he just walk away. And then he goes back into the building as if nothing happened.
I know.
And people still cheered.
It's like he just killed somebody.
Yeah, it's like he kind of sort of killed someone.
I see your point.
Still cheered.
But the difference is we were part of a different era. That was a different era back then. Hulk Hogan couldn't be booed. At that time, there was no way he could be booed.
Well, he couldn't be booed, but at the same time, my whole thing is this. It's only murder when you are a heel.
I guess.
Okay, because I'll say it like this. When Rikishi ran over Stone Cold, that was attempted murder. And then when it turns out that was Rikishi got booed out of his fucking mind. When Roman Reigns pretty much vehicular homicide, almost vehicular homicide, people are still sort of cheering him. There are some that still believe that he's a murderer, but there are some that's like, I feel like he only did it to justify himself because.
What justify? No.
Braun Strowman did this and blah, blah, blah.
Let's think about this for a second. In the grand scheme of things, he tried to kill somebody through his own stupidity because.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Because
if this was a police report, this was literally have to be on a police report. He tried to commit attempted murder because he tried to spear him when he was right next to the ambulance. Braun Strowman, the smart one, moved out the way. He went straight into the ambulance. Braun Strowman won the match.
When you look at it, okay, like as you say it like that, yes, you're right. When you look at it, what's the reason why you almost commit murder to Braun Strowman? Because I lost a match.
Exactly. So it's like, so I could imagine. So like for him, like losing a match over that, what else would he like? How else would he snap?
It's the logic. It's not even WWE logic. It's wrestling logic.
Yeah, it's like, I lost the match. I'm going to kill you now.
Yeah.
Not even a heel would do that. A heel would even do that. They might just beat you up now, but not to the point of attempted murder.
Yeah. Like I said, talk exactly. Like you're. I'm not even disagreeing with you. You're right. It's just the fact that for some reason, it's history of wrestling has showed us
It's like,
when you're the face, you can get away with murder.
and not only, no, and I wouldn't even have that much of an issue with that. It wasn't the fact that the very next night he was granted a #1 contender opportunity.
Yeah, he was
and
rewarded.
It's like you just so basically what you're telling the children, because this is what it's aimed at. Hey, kid, if somebody beats you in something, it's all right to try to kill him. That's basically that's pretty much what the message.
And you'll get rewarded for it.
That's literally the message they were trying to send out here. It's okay if you lose or be a sore loser. It's okay to be a sore loser, and it's okay to try to kill them. Like you'll get rewarded for it anyway. It's like what? That's why I don't care what WWE says. At that moment, Roman Reigns was officially a heel.
I mean, like
and Braun Strowman's a face because he walked out. He was able to walk out on his own 2 feet and still leave the building. That was a face turn, in my opinion.
Like I said, it's wrestling logic. You're only allowed to kill someone if you're a face. because if you're a face, you are justified.
It's insane.
It's stupid, but that's how it is. For some reason, it's in the wrestling handbook.
I'm saying, like, it's just in a realistic world, like, how can you cheer for this man who just tried to kill somebody over his own stupidity? Like that, and that's the worst part. It's not because he was pushing me to the edge or whatever. No, literally, you tried to kill him just because your dumbass thought it was a good idea to spear him right next to the ambulance.
Hey, I can either kill you. I can either kill you with my $1 million smile, or I can kill you by running a truck into another truck.
It's just, yeah, but back to the point. Yeah,
wrestling logic.
Back to the point. All this Braun Strowman returned, which I justifiably he beat the shit out of Roman Reigns, and sadly Samoa Joe was here. I mean, I understand why Samoa Joe was pissed because again he cost him the fucking match. And I'm gonna continue out to you. So guys, he got in Braun Strowman's way. He just took out both of them basically, but he really focused on Roman Reigns, and the security tried to come. But my whole thing is where's security when Roman was trying to kill Braun Strowman. I just want to point that out. They were on deck. The security was on deck when it came to freaking Braun Strowman, but there was nobody there when Roman Reigns took the ambulance. I'm just saying.
It's wrestling logic.
I feel like there's some conspiracy.
You can definitely get away with murder if you are a face.
Just that boggles my mind. It's like, yo.
The only other time I feel like you can't that rule was broken was probably when Jake the Snake had got the Undertaker bitten.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Jake the Snake wasn't full blood. He went heel. So let's just say the ink didn't dry on him going heel yet.
Yeah, I mean that was fucking ridiculous.
Because that was attempted murder. You got somebody poisoned.
Nah, you're absolutely right. Okay, yeah. So basically, to sum up all that, we know we have no winner, so we have no idea who's gonna face Brock Lesnar. SummerSlam. However, Kurt Angle did say after like the exclusive interview that happened on WWE Network that he will have an answer regarding all of this next week on Raw. I think it's leading to the rumored match at SummerSlam now, which is so the rumored match for SummerSlam has been changed on a weekly basis. I think they finalized what it's going to be. It's going to be a fatal 4-way: Roman Reigns, Joe, Strowman, and Lesnar in a fatal 4-way match. Because the rumors are true with the whole Brock Lesnar situation.
Oh, so you heard about that too?
Yes, I think they're going. This is their way to take it off of Brock Lesnar. I think the original plan was for Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar 1-on-1 at SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns was going to beat him. But with the whole situation going on, I feel like they're going to do it this route. So, in the case that he does resign, they won't make Brock Lesnar look weak coming out of this. This way, he can lose the title without actually being pinned or submitted, which I think that's the route they're going to go. I don't know who the hell's going to become champion, more than likely Roman Reigns, but because why not Roman Reigns? But yeah, I think that's the route they're going to go.
Being to the fact that they're all heel champions right now,
mm-hmm.
I feel like Roman Reigns is going to win that only because of the fact of
There's no face. Well, we have an AJ Styles now.
Well, I have something to talk about that.
Oh, okay. I guess we're about to get into.
I saw something, and unless they change it, I have a theory about Battleground that's coming up.
Interesting. All right. So I guess that leads us right to SmackDown. I know you said you don't have time, so I'm going to try to quickly go through SmackDown 205 Live and NXT, so we'll just get right to the Battleground predictions. So,
well, I'm going to say how about as we doing SmackDown, we go through the Battleground.
Exactly. Actually, So basically, when we get done SmackDown, we're going straight to Battleground. I'll just cover 205 Live.
Or I'm just saying that we can do.
During each segment, their match. I got your point. All right, so that's perfect. All right then. So first things first, the greatest man on the roster, Jinder Mahal, came out on the opening show, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He brought the Punjabi prison to SmackDown Live, and it's the same exact one from back in the day.
Yeah, so. That's exactly how ugly that fucking thing is.
It's literally the exact same one. They pretty much explain. I mean, the Singh brothers and him were explaining how the match works. Basically, for those who don't know, the match starts both competitors in the ring. The whole goal is to get out of the whole Punjabi prison. They have the option of climbing the cage or trying to escape through the door through the first cage, but only has 60 seconds to go through the doors. And once all 4 doors closes, they have only the way getting out, which is through the top. Then the only way to escape fully, you have to escape through the other one. That's the only way to go through that. You have to go literally over the Punjabi prison itself.
It's a double cage match when you think about it.
It's essentially, yeah. It just makes it look kind of. They try to make it look cool with the bars and stuff. Which I'm not gonna lie, aesthetic, like from a visual perspective, it's decent. It looks stupid. The match itself, concept is stupid, but just for me, a visual piece, I think it looks interesting. I'm not saying the best thing ever, but it just the concept of the match is just stupid.
Yeah,
in my opinion. If there was like weapons involved and stuff, I don't know. There will be weapons like back in the day or whatever. I feel like okay. If it's like if the purpose wasn't to escape it, I would say okay, whatever. They're pretty much in a prison trying to kill themselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
No problem. But the purpose is to escape it. It makes the whole kind of thing pointless. They might as well would have had a steel cage match, but whatever. But yeah, Jinder Mahal was talking about, and then out came Randy Orton. He climbed to the very top and pretty much telling Jinder Mahal with the 1.3 billion people he have in India, that pretty much won't save him from getting his ass kicked and taking back his WWE title at Battleground, which takes place in our city, Philadelphia. So that's pretty much that. It was going back and forth. Pretty much Randy Orton had the last upper hand in that promo segment. So now talking about the match itself, which I'm assuming will be the main event, Battleground, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, the Punjabi prison match. Who do you think is going to win and why?
Okay. Do you want me? I kind of don't want to do this because what I have to say is actually leading to 2 matches.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Okay, which will pretty much be my my prediction for Battleground. I'm going to bring up a picture. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it on here. And let me get to it. Because it was something. Because you got to remember, when I watch SmackDown, I watch it on the website.
Yes.
And this particular website was streaming SmackDown, and when it was streaming it, it was streaming on the Canadian channel.
Okay.
So when they stream on Canadian channels, they also talk about their upcoming house shows that's coming up for their SummerSlam Heatwave tour.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the matches, or 2 of the matches, because there's a Raw show and there's a SmackDown show. Two of those matches include this. I only captured one because I didn't have enough time, but it was this as I shared the picture.
Triple threat. Owen, Zayn, and Corbin. Interesting.
Look who has the belt.
Kevin Owens. Now, I would like to think that they promoted this before.
But here's the other thing. I didn't have a chance to capture this either. But hold on, I'm gonna just turn the screen share off. I didn't have a chance to capture this either, but the other main event was AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal.
Interesting, because then that would have implied that Randy Orton's not part of neither of that, so that would imply that Jinder Mahal is going to win. They have
yes.
audience. Interesting. I mean, live events always are subject to change.
Yes,
that's
always
interesting. But that is interesting that you point that out. Could that mean they would promote this months in advance and they knew regardless of this outcome, they knew Jinder Mahal was going to hold the title leading up to SummerSlam. So
yes.
Now, I mean, my prediction was going to be Jinder Mahal anyway, with the help of the Singh brothers, obviously, or maybe a returning Great Khali. That's my fantasy booking. Yeah, because if he doesn't show up, that is a missed opportunity. I'm just saying.
First off, the Great Khali has more injuries than I do. Okay, that man can't even.
He can't walk. Like
he can't walk. So by the time he even gets to the ring, that the spot will probably be over.
Holy crap! Yeah, it's just.
But it's just that like you said, this card subject, the subject of the card can change, but at the same time.
Yeah, that would imply that the fact that they had it that early on, that would imply that they had no intention.
In this house show is the 2 weeks after Battleground, yes.
Yeah, so they would have had, for all attention purposes, they knew for a fact that Randy Orton wasn't going to be champion. And for the fact that he's not even involved in either United States or Davis House, that is an interesting thing to point out, especially Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. That is interesting.
Because another thing will also be this: if the card subject was to change, they would have already. They probably would have just had a regular triple threat match and took the belt off of him because they can't do that. Mm-hmm. And then the versus screen that he had with AJ could have been just with him with the belt and everything.
Exactly. No, but I do personally think the Kevin Owens one that was done before Madison Square Garden, so they had no idea.
I mean, yeah, that
whole Jinder Mahal thing, that is interesting with AJ.
Yeah. Like I said, the card subject to change, but for some reason, back in my head, I feel like that AJ Styles is going to lose the belt at
Battleground.
And then
I'm trying to believe that because there's no reason why I can always, in the back of my head, I feel like they were going to do Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens one more time at SummerSlam, just because.
Well, Jericho is already booked past SummerSlam, so.
It's yeah. I mean,
I can see that this match will be the part 3 or part 4.
The final match.
The final
because they had
Styles and Owens.
Yeah, and I could see them doing So I don't.
Like I said, I mean, I hate to spring that to you, but it was just the fact of like when you advertise something like this, y'all could have redid the advertisement of it.
Alright,
y'all have done it before when it came to house shows. Y'all have done it before for where it's like, okay, well, this person's not champion anymore, so we're going to redo this. And anything like that. Even though, yes, card subject to change, but this is months ahead. Y'all could have.
And I know, and then this wouldn't be the first time because, again, with back to the whole roadblock situation back from Pittsburgh over here, right before even Survivor Series happened, they already was advertising Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. And this was before Survivor Series, so It's like they already had the plan set already. So that is an interesting concept. So I feel like this whole AJ Styles and Kevin Owens thing, pretty nice. They said when AJ Styles won,
and not to mention, I feel like that AJ Styles is not going to be a permanent contender for the belt just yet because I feel like that the next match Jinder Mahal is going to have at SummerSlam
is John Cena. It has to be. It makes it. Because, well, yeah, I'll get into that in a second when I get to the flag match. But yeah, but in terms of the Punjabi Prison match, so I feel like it has to be Jinder Mahal. Yeah. There is no way, because Jinder Mahal, the way they have built Jinder Mahal, there is no way he's losing to Randy Orton. Because then let's put this into perspective. If Jinder Mahal would lose the WWE title, I know he'll get his rematch, but then that's dragging on this feud way longer than what it needs to be dragged on. They literally was able to drag on this feud from May all the way to September if he actually loses. Yeah. Because they're gonna have to have a blow off match at SummerSlam, which I can't fathom.
Also, another reason. What you comes taking a break.
Oh, Randy Orton. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He is taking a break.
So sorry. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at that.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. So yeah, I would have to say Jinder Mahal. He's going for it. He has to face Cena at SummerSlam. Now the outcome of that match at SummerSlam, we'll have to wait and see, but I have already a bunch of theories.
I have my feeling. I think I already feel like I know who's going to win that.
I feel like it's going to be Cena, but that's immediately following Baron Corbin cashing in.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That because I feel like that's what's going to happen at SummerSlam. Jinder Mahal is going to drop title Cena. He becomes the only person to hold the world title 17 times. And immediately after that, Baron Corbin takes the title away from him. And that bills Baron Corbin as literally the top heel on SmackDown.
Not to also mention that if you also haven't noticed with the Money in the Bank, John, and the same thing is probably going to happen with Carmella. But which personally I don't think she may or may not be the winner with that, and I have a personal reason for that. Mm-hmm. It's going to be stupid, but I have a personal reason for that. But I feel like that they're starting to not have Money in the Bank winners carry the suitcase
with them
for that whole year.
I do get your point. Because I think they want, because there's a couple things. It's so hard. I can see Daily's issue with it's so hard for them to book a Money in the Bank winner, because it's like there's a bunch of factors. Like, for example, Mr. Kennedy, I think, is a perfect example of this. He was originally supposed to hold it. If you remember, he was supposed to hold it all the way until WrestleMania 24.
Yeah.
And cash it in. But since he got injured, last minute change, they gave it to Edge so he could take it off of The Undertaker. So it's like
it's not only just that, it's just the fact of like it's kind of a sense of let's get this out of the way now, so we won't be both in the written in the corner from where it's like, oh shit, we got your Money in the Bank, your Money in the Bank winner.
And in case in point, another example recently, Sheamus. He won it. Because Seth Rollins got injured, I guarantee you that was not the original plan. It was for Sheamus to cash in at Survivor Series. That was never their intention.
No, it wasn't.
They had no choice because Seth Rollins got injured. So they had to say, well, fuck it. They need a new heel champion, so why not Sheamus? So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to long-term book a Money in the Bank person. There's only two people in history that they was able to get it right on, which was Edge and Seth Rollins.
Well, RVD too.
Yeah, to a point.
I mean, but
it wasn't
RVD fucked up on his own.
Yeah, that was the issue. But with Seth Rollins and Edge, I feel like that was the only two that they booked perfectly in terms of getting the title. But for Battleground, but either way, regardless, Battleground, I think there's no way Jinder Mahal has to win this match. And again, that's jarring to say in 2017. Jinder Mahal has to retain the WWE title. So, yeah. Moving on, though, to which will lead to our next match. Jimmy Uso versus Kofi Kingston. Now, this is interesting because Xavier Woods last week was able to get a win over Jey Uso. I figured Kofi Kingston was going to do the same because I personally thought the Usos were going to win at Battleground again. But now this is interesting because Jimmy Uso won this match. So now we're in like an even.
It's 50-50 booking.
Which now leads to our predictions. Who's going to win at Battleground for the SmackDown Tag Team titles? The New Day versus the Usos. Who do you think is going to win and why?
I think this time they're probably going to give it to the New Day. I don't think New Day's going to hold it that long like they did before.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
But I think they're going to finally probably give it to the New Day this time.
Before this week, I thought they were going. Give it. I thought the Usos were going to retain too, but now it's like with this
the 50
booking gets throwing me off.
Yeah, and that's actually good because
now it's a surprise factor.
Yeah, because remember the last time they faced each other, the New Day won every single match up until the
pay-per-view, which they still won, but it's just the fact that they win the titles. Yeah, so now it's like.
So now it's like there's an actual 50-50 booking when it's like we don't know who's going to go in here with the momentum.
You see, it's so hard. You see, that's why I love when it comes to predictions because the main issue I think about is not about the match itself. It's just what happens afterwards. If the Uso were to lose this match, I know they get a rematch, which would lead into SummerSlam. But if the New Day loses this match, what is next for them?
Exactly.
And especially when it comes to SummerSlam,
and New Day is still a draw.
Exactly. So I feel like they have to win this match, and they'll have their final match at SummerSlam, which won't be an issue at all because these are literally probably the best two tag teams on the main roster currently, besides like the Revival and the Hardys and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like on SmackDown, these are literally their top two teams. So, I feel like for them to continue this at SummerSlam, the New Day has to win because I don't know who else Uso is going to face. I mean, I have no problem with being the fast on Breezango. I have no problem with that as long as Breezango actually wins the match. But the New Day has to win. So, yeah, there's that. Moving on to which can lead to another match which they just announced. Yesterday, it was going to be Mike Kanellis made his in-ring debut on WWE against Sami Zayn. I actually thought they was going to hold this off until Battleground, which is jarring because this match didn't matter because they're still going to have another match at Battleground that they just announced yesterday. So regardless of Mike Bennett, he won his debut match because when Sami Zayn was trying to do a hoover kick on Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis came out. I mean, she came in the ring trying to protect them, and that was able to distract Sami Zayn. Mike Bennett was able to hit this nasty elbow on him, and then he was able to do a oh my God, I don't know why I forgot this name. What the hell is the move called? Sunoco driver. Holy shit!
But I think they're calling it the power of love.
Nah.
That's why I heard that they're going to call it the power of love.
I guess, but that is fine. That is funny. Yeah. So, interesting. Which leads us to again the prediction I wasn't before. Actually, I get into it. I forgot. Black Area Gaming on the chat. He did give me his prediction. So let me just read off it. My bad. I completely forgot. He predicted Jinder Mahal was going to win for the WWE title, which I think we all think Jinder Mahal is going to win. So if he does now, I will be shocked in a bad way. He predicts the Usos are going to win in their tag team match, and he also predicts Mike Kanellis right now he's going to win in the rematch at Battleground. So right now, I'm actually wrong. At Battleground, Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis, who you think is going to win in the rematch?
I think Kanellis is going to win that too, because they're starting off with him. I didn't like the fact that he was getting his ass whooped practically
the whole match. I know that was the issue.
And then one hit, and that's when you know, like a couple of hits, that's when you know he wins.
So it's making him feel like he's just this cowardly person.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with you on that. So it's like, he has to win this. I feel I personally think they're only doing this because they realized their mistake. They was like, well, shit, he's considered like this pretty much like a scrummy little guy that he only won because of a distraction. You had to make him look like a legit.
Well, I feel like they that's his character anyway.
Anyway, yeah, but like there shouldn't be in ring
because remember, he took his wife's last name.
Yes, That is 100% right. So never mind. I completely retract what I just said. Maybe that's their route they're going with. But regardless, yeah, I think Mike Kanellis is going to win. Sami Zayn can take. Sami Zayn's the guy that no matter how many times he fucking loses, he will always come back anyway. So
and he'll eventually get a win in this feud.
A big win anyway. So it's like, yeah, I have to get him Mike Kanellis as well. So yeah. Moving on to the John Cena now. Yes, this segment. I wanted to get to this because I was beefing with people on Twitter on Tuesday over this. People was debating me about this. The whole John Cena addressing the flag match. Now, maybe I had my ears maybe my ears were in something but the way I took the John Cena promo that he did on freaking Smackdown was that, hey, if you don't support, if you don't support me in this flag match, you're basically supporting 9/11 in Pearl Harbor. That's what I took out of this. No, that's literally what I took out of this. Because
listen, you're not the only one.
Because I was looking.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I kind of feel like it's a little weak when someone, a politician or anyone, brings up 9/11 as a reasoning for something to happen. We need to do this because 9/11.
It's like, what the fuck does that do with anything?
We need to attack on this because 9/11. I mean, look, everybody knows what 9/11 is. Kids know
what 9/11 is. Yeah,
9/11 is from school. Okay, like people know. Some people don't want 9/11 to be in their face like it was some odd years ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that Cena uses that whole, help me support this, help me support the American tragedies that's happened. It's like, it's not that serious. It's these are American tragedies.
Yes.
You'll survive if you lose, Cena. Millions and millions and millions are not going to die if Rusev wins the flag match. Okay, that's not going to happen. I don't see people dying when Rusev hits you with the accolade and then goes take his flag, put it on the staff. I don't really see buildings exploding. I don't see bombs dropping on certain things. I don't see a national tragedy happening if Rusev wins.
Exactly.
He kind of took this a tad bit too far. I will.
And then he brought up Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, like I said,
and it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's like, first off, wrong country. On both, if both situations,
like, what the fuck if you know have to do with this?
If you know your history, you would know that it wasn't Bulgaria that did it, with the Japanese. If anything, when you kind of look at it, Bulgaria we never really had a major.
They never had an issue with us.
Like, we had World War I, but then that wasn't really Bulgaria. That was Germany. World War II was, something else too. Well, it was Russia. It's like, Bulgaria has been pretty cool with us. I feel like the only way we might have a problem with Bulgaria or Russia is if you're Apollo Creed son and you're trying to find Ivo Draco. That's probably the only other way I can see it. Other than that, nah, it's not that serious.
No, but let's put this into perspective for a second. I can understand that this was John Cena versus Rusev, and it's like he literally this is for a title match. This is a big deal, and Rusev's being this asshole of a person, just spinning on the flag and everything. But this is just a regular flag match. a flag match that John Cena brought Rusev in. Rusev didn't give a shit about this match. John Cena proposed this match. It's not like Rusev proposed this. Rusev was saying that you stupid Americans just eating hamburgers on 4th of July, because it was the 4th of July episode. That brought John Cena to say, hey, you don't ever disrespect America like that. We're having a flag match. And for him to include making it so big that it's, hey, if you don't support America in this flag match, you're basically saying you agree with 9/11 and freaking Pearl Harbor, which got into my Twitter beef with these two idiots on Twitter, by the way. So as when I was saying, I was like, this promo was kind of racist. Don't you think? I had two people reply to me. One of them saying, hey, this is the most patriotic promo I've seen in years. You're just an anti-American. What the fuck are you talking about? And the other guy was saying how, and I had to explain to him, because he's pretty much saying, if you don't support me in this match, you're supporting 9/11 Pearl Harbor, which had nothing to do with Bulgaria. That was my whole point. So why does Cena even bring it up in the first place? It made no sense.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, if you know your history, Bulgaria had nothing to do with 9/11 or
Pearl Harbor.
It's like
there was no reason to bring it out.
And it's kind of like you have no choice here. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that episode. It's kind of like that episode of Family Guy when I'm sorry, I forgot my phone ring. It's kind of like the episode of Family Guy when the mother I can't figure her name. She was running for mayor, for Mayor of Quahog, and she couldn't figure the speech.
Oh yeah.
It was like 9/11,
and everybody started cheering.
Yeah, 9/11, 9/11.
Yeah, they start cheering because anything involving 9/11. Yeah. But with all that being said, at Battleground there will be a flag match: John Cena versus Rusev. Who do you think is going to win and why?
Do we really?
After this, whatever fucking promo this was, I hope to God Rusev win. Because again, we already know it's going to be John Cena versus Jamal at SummerSlam. So why even bother? John Cena can lose 100 matches in a row. It won't change the fact that he's John Cena. So with that being said, there is no reason why Rusev can't. I know usually whoever gets the upper hand in the last TV show before the pay-per-view, they usually will lose. So with that being said, I obviously seems like Rusev is going to fucking lose. But like, come on. Rusev needs this win more than John Cena needs this win. Cena's going to get his shot regardless. Remember, Cena's going to get a shot at the title regardless. Remember, and I always remember this, when he came back around December, he said, whoever wins this match, this triple threat match, they had to face me through a Rumble. Who the fuck are you? That's my point. It's like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? He's Roman Reigns, like the same shit Roman Reigns did on Raw. We said whoever wins the Great Ball Fire match has to face me in SummerSlam. Who the fuck are you to just announce matches like that? Just because even AJ Styles brought up the Shane McMahon, he was like, who the hell? Like, how are you just gonna grant him a match just because he's John Cena? Yeah, that's pretty much what it's saying. Like, you just can't grant.
Listen, it's going to be Cena.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Because if it's not Cena, you're supporting 9/11.
No, but my whole thing, this is the perfect opportunity for Rusev win.
No, you're right.
Because it's a flag match, and it's also in Philadelphia. As Cena wanted to bring up, this is where America started, in Philadelphia. So, okay, since if Rusev really is this anti-America, which he really isn't, he doesn't even give a shit about this, let him win.
If John Cena John Cena loses, and you're supporting 9/11.
It was like it is the worst thing I've ever heard come out of John Cena's mouth ever. I know, and yes, I know this was probably the writer's idea. I would like to think John Cena is a smart man. He's not the sociopath like Roman Reigns is in real life, which I still have a theory that the person is becoming the character in terms of Roman Reigns. I feel like the person portraying Roman Reigns is slowly becoming Roman Reigns himself, which is a problem. Because I still can't believe you can't follow your own company on Twitter is jarring to me. Especially you have Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, who their characters don't necessarily have to make them like break kayfabe in terms of Twitter, but even Roman Reigns can even follow his own company. He follows no one on Twitter. No one. So like literally his whole feed is just himself. It's just all his tweets. He goes on Twitter, he sees all his tweets. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So fucking narcissist. Like, but yeah, it's just for John Cena. Rusev, come on, just win the match. That's all I'm gonna say. This is fucking ridiculous.
But no, dude.
I know it's fucking insane. We're moving on to Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, which I believe this was a funny segment because everybody wanted Lana, and Shane Man just quietly said, "No, guys, nobody's facing Lana." Just saying, like nobody is gonna face Lana.
Cares.
Yeah, like that was hilarious. But then it led into just Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, so actually a rare face versus face match, especially for the women. Becky Lynch did win the match, which I thought was brilliant because Charlotte didn't really need the match, win a match anyway. And they showed at the end, even though they lost, they're still together, which led into Natalya and Tamina and Lana beating them all up, which eventually just led because when Natalya tried to get Lana face and Nina just took her out, which clearly shows she's for some strange readings supporting Lana, which leads into an interesting scenario of Battleground because it's a fatal five-way. Not just a fatal five-way match, it's a fatal five-way elimination match. Which, as JBL so rightfully like to point out, it's a fatal five-way match. You only need one pinfall to win. He did say that on Smackdown. I swear to God.
I heard that too.
I quoted it. Hold on. I know I quoted it on Twitter. What did that asshole say? JBL, and he wondered why he's always on John o'clock on what culture. What did that asshole say?
It was like you only need one pinfall in an elimination match. It's like
I quoted his dumbass. Yeah, no. Idiot. I can't find the tweet. Oh no, yeah, it's elimination. You only have to beat one person, JBL. That's literally what the asshole said.
And it's like
no, that's not how it works. In an elimination fatal five-way match, that's not how it works. But yeah, the fatal five elimination match, which would be Tamina versus Natalya versus Charlotte versus Lana versus Becky. Who do you think's gonna win and why?
I want to say Charlotte. I want to give it to Charlotte because Charlotte and Naomi was supposed to have a match months ago before people started interfering and stuff. And those two can actually put on a good match. I think Charlotte likes wrestling the black girls.
No, you're definitely right.
But I see I see them I see Charlotte winning this. They're going into SummerSlam to face Naomi.
I got it. For me, I think I'm gonna give it to Mina. I think what's happening is, let me actually give your thought on that. This is from my job. Let me see what this is real quick. Hello. The schedule for when.
Mm-hmm. Well, folks, while he's on his way doing that, I'm going to step out for a second so I can use the bathroom. So I myself will be right back. So you can actually see me because I'm leaning back. I myself will be right back. I'm going to say this to him. And then I'm going to turn my camera off, and I shall return.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I noticed Ron went off. He went to go to the bathroom. I'm so irritated. It's one of my employees called about something that has nothing to do with me, but which makes me wonder why couldn't you just call the other person? You have the person's phone number, so that's irritated me because you just interrupted my podcast. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for Ron, so we'll talk more about it. He said he was going to the bathroom, so let me just text somebody real quick. I do apologize about that, guys. Let me just text somebody real quick because it's regards to what I was just talking about on the phone. What was I even talking?
Okay, all right, we're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, this dumb employee.
Job stuff.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with me though. That's the kicker is it had nothing to do with me. It had something to do with her and the manager. I'm the shift leader, so I'm technically third in charge of the store. It has nothing to do with me. Your issues with the manager, not me. So it's like, yeah, why did you call me? Interrupt my podcast. That's why I'm more friends. But okay, I was back to the whole. Okay, I was gonna pick Tamina because I feel like what's leading into this is gonna be Naomi versus Tamina. They're gonna do it at SummerSlam. I think that's what they're doing because it's been hinted at ever since Naomi beat Lana And this Tamina just came out of nowhere just to help her out. And so and Naomi was wondering herself why they're even doing this. I feel like it's gonna be. I feel like Natalya and Charlotte's gonna go into a feud because remember in that rematch for the Money in the Bank, Natalya cost Charlotte the match by clotheslining her on the other side, which made zero sense because you just cost yourself the match. So I don't know. I feel like those two are gonna feud eventually. But I feel like Tamina is going to face Naomi at SummerSlam just because they're going to get the whole family thing. And it's interesting because the Usos are also on the SmackDown brand. So it's like they could involve them with it. And it's like it's a bunch of possibilities.
Your fancy book is amazing.
No, but it's like in all seriousness, though, I feel like there is going to be Tamina. Okay, if you saw, remember, like I said, the ending to the match, Tamina was with Lana is the last person standing tall.
Yeah,
I feel
true.
like. So here's I feel like how the elimination. So in terms of elimination, I feel like it's gonna go like this. Becky, just because they're gonna do fucking Becky dirty, is gonna be Becky, Natalya, Lana. But Lana, Charlotte's gonna eliminate Lana, which is gonna distract Charlotte for that split second. Let her do the super kick. Tamina's gonna do super kick on her and let her win, and Tamina's gonna win. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. That's how my elimination is gonna go.
I think it's going to come down to there's going to be Lana, Tamina, then Natalya, then Becky.
Interesting. So, are you saying Charlotte might turn heel then, or
no? I think that Sunday is going to be the rubber match of sorts.
I can potentially see. I can easily see that happening too. So. Yeah. No, you are right about that. That is a lot to think about. If I was a betting man, I would say Tamina, just because that's the team like the route they were going. Because like they dropped the whole Charlotte Naomi thing a while ago back in May. I mean, they reference it from time to time, but they pretty much dropped that at Backlash when they teamed up to face the welcoming committee. So I don't know. I say Tamina, so we'll find out. And Back Area Gaming, let me pull up his. He also said for that match, he said Tamina. So, and he said, you see, he agrees with me. He said Rusev too for the flag match because it just why not let Rusev win? It makes. Oh yeah, by the way, did you see Rusev's tweet with Shane? Fucking savage.
No, what you say?
Because remember, if you don't know, Shane got into a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then Rusev, the fucking savage he is, he said, when you don't respond to my video message, you land in the ocean. And then he tagged him in it. Fucking savage. Yeah, so before we get to the main event, since it does involve the other matches, let me just get the other matches out there for Battleground. There's the kickoff match between Ty Dillinger and Aiden English. Who do you think is going to win?
Ty Dillinger.
I think Aiden English because I think they're doing something with him because remember, despite the fact they got his ass handed to him, he did actually beat Randy Orton in that match.
Yeah, but that match was a disqualification.
But he still won though at the end of the day.
Yeah, he still won at the end of the day, but it's just like that was like a birthday gift compared to like
I know. I don't trust me.
Also to the fact of let's be serious, Ty Dillinger needs this win. He needs to understand that Ty Dillinger is still alive.
Yes, I was shocked that he was still alive a couple of weeks in that Battle Royal. When he showed up in the Battle Royal. And he was the last three, so I have to give it to at least they know what they're doing. He put him in the last three with Zayn and Styles in that Battle Royal. So I
will figure that.
I want Ty to win too, but I say Aiden just because why not? And the other thing is the conclusion of who the hell attacked Tyler Breeze is going to conclude at Battleground. Who do you think it is? And we know it's not the Ascension.
No, but
okay, there's no way to do it again.
I have something in the back of my head. I don't like to think this, but I think it was one of their own.
No, that's so and they just released they just released a shirt. No,
I for some reason
no, they wouldn't do the same. They wouldn't do the whole big cash. No, no, I would hate them for the rest of my life if they break up Breezango. It's ironic because I hated the whole Breezango idea in the first week. I felt like Tyler Breeze deserved better. But within the past year, this literally became my favorite tag team. So no, they will not take this from me. They took the Ascension winning the Smackdown titles at Elimination Chamber from me. They won't take this from me. They won't do it. Nope. I refuse. I would refuse to let this happen. What I personally think is now it's a long shot because who have we not actually seen on SmackDown recently? There's one key person that we have not seen on SmackDown. Who do you think that is? Who do you think I'm referring to?
That's interesting.
Huh?
That's interesting. I some reason in the back of my, because I can't think of anyone else unless they go do some bullshit and it's like, hey, it actually was the Ascension.
I mean, at least that will push the Ascension to some degree, but it wouldn't make any sense because, like, already saw the Ascension. It wouldn't be a surprise fact. I personally think this is another option. It might be something to do with Dolph Ziggler. He hasn't been here at all recently. It might be Dolph Ziggler and a partner, someone coming up from NXT.
I feel like
coming up from NXT, maybe.
I feel like Dolph Ziggler's too good, even though he's in the situation that he's in now, which we don't even know what situation he's in. We just haven't fucking seen him in weeks. I feel like even he's too good to be in a storyline like that.
I'm looking at the NXT roster at the moment, too. It's definitely not, in terms of teams, it's definitely not Sanity. It's definitely not Authors of Pain. It's definitely not heavy. It's definitely not Heavy Machinery. The only other team, it's so hard. I don't think it's a team anyway. I think it's personally one person. It doesn't have to be a team. I think that's the way. I think that's how Davies getting us. We're thinking it's a team. Well, I'm thinking it's a team, and it might not be a team. It might just be one person. That's what's throwing me off. Where I'm assuming it's a team, which leaves the possibility so limited, but it might just be one person. But let's move on to the main event of the show, which was the tag team match featuring Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And let me tell you something. I was in tears when Shinsuke Nakamura was doing his entrance, and when Baron Corbin came out. And the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura, I know he didn't hear him coming, but he instantly knew he was right behind him. That was hilarious. I know that was just hilarious. I was like, well, shit, Nakamura, you got like magical powers. I mean, I know obviously they knew. I guess the cue was the second the lights went off of him, he knew Baron Corbin was gonna be behind him. But still, and just a regular casual fan's perspective, it's like, how the fuck did he even know he was coming? Just because like he just knew that his instincts are that good. He just knew, but I just find that one hilarious. But the match, so it was fun. Maybe it's just me. Did you have an issue with this where the way they do SmackDown, the matches, they still show the matches, but the main event during commercial?
No, you mean like the little tiny square?
Yeah, and they do it, but with the main event. It's so weird to me.
It's not weird. It's all right. So sometimes they show it on the Canadian stream, sometimes they don't. I have no problem with it. I think that's good that it's showing what's going on because sometimes
No. I don't have an issue with it showing what's going on. They do it with all the matches but the main event.
Well, I never noticed that, but at the same time, I just feel like they should. I mean, maybe they should do it for the main event because the fact of sometimes when you come back with a match and you be like, oh, this person is winning, but suddenly he's getting beat. It's like y'all don't even show what happened. Like, or sometimes they do show what happened, but like now we were actually watching. Like, oh wow, he actually took a bad turn in this match, and now the match is in their favor.
Exactly.
So I mean, I like it. So I like it. I mean, they don't show it in the main event. That's probably a good reason. I
Yeah, it was just weird. I mean, basically at the end of the day, was Nakamura distracted with Corbin outside. Kevin Owens was able to hit the pop up power bomb with Styles, which 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin won the match, building up to their their respective matches. So our final predictions for the last two, we have Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Who do you think is going to win and why?
I think Nakamura's going to win that because it's not necessarily saying he's going to kill the momentum for
Nakamura.
No, it's going to kill the momentum for Nakamura more than it's going to kill the momentum for
Corbin.
For Corbin, because Corbin's already Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so it won't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, people who are Money in the Bank have lost matches before. Like Seth Rollins, he lost
a bunch of matches before he even cashed
in. So it doesn't necessarily hurt your chances. Meanwhile, they're trying to push Nakamura anyway, and stuff like that. I feel like that him losing might. I mean, he might have to take a loss one of these days, but I don't think Sunday's going to be it just yet.
I also agree. I think it's going to be Nakamura because, again, Baron Corbin doesn't have to win this match. He's the Money in the Bank. But I'm just trying to think what is Baron Corbin, right? I think he might disappear for the next month just because if our prediction is true, it's going to be Jinder Mahal. I think he's just going to show up there and just cash it in. I think he's going to take this loss and just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. Like storyline wise, and then next month at SummerSlam he shows up and wins the WWE title. I think that's.
I don't know if he's going to do that, but
I'm just saying maybe he might do something like that,
but he will realize he's human.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I also agree Nakamura's going to win, and then the match, which again, maybe it's just me pointing this out too. Again, you noticed on SmackDown, the United States title is the main focus on the show than WWE title. Why is that?
I don't know.
That is so. The main event has always featured United States title.
I really don't understand that. Then again, it's something.
It's weird. It's so weird. Like, I get that Jinder Mahal's WWE champion. It's like he's not a bad. Like we were all shocked.
Also to the fact that like sometimes they have them wrestle like early so they can catch the next flight out. Some of them don't really stay past the time of leaving. Some of them have to actually leave right away.
I get it.
Like for instance, Becky and Charlotte and everyone left right away because after their match because Becky and Charlotte are with
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con with Sasha and Bailey and the Bella Twins.
I get it. Okay.
So it's like some of them might have to leave ASAP to go to the next town or do whatever they have to do, you know, because of how their flight is arranged. Like it's like sometimes it's like, hey, well, it would be best if we could drive here to the next town, everything like that. But if we're taking a flight and my flight is arranged to leave at this point in time, they'll probably ask, hey, can I have this early match so afterwards I can get my stuff and get out of here? Yeah. You know, like if I have like a pre-match interview, let's do the interview now, record it, and show it on the thing, anything like that, then we just get out of here. Like the Miz, for instance. The Miz on Monday left early, and I think it's because he had something to do where he had to like just leave right away. Like, you see him on TV the rest of that night. Mm-hmm. That's mainly because of the fact that he had to leave. I forgot what it is he had to do. Oh no, he had to host something. I think it was. I remember seeing something on his Instagram.
I think I forgot what it was, but I think I know what you're talking about.
So sometimes some people have to leave at a certain time, you know, just to get out of the way. So that's why I feel like it also could be to the fact of a safety issue. A lot of people want Jinder Mahal dead.
Fair point.
And that's a legit truth. A lot of people want Jinder Mahal dead. And I like to call it like this, just like the people that was on you, on your Twitter. there are some people
who thinks wrestling is real.
who really legit thinks that wrestling is still real to them.
I mean, it's still real to me in like a kayfabe sense, but it's like
no, but there's just some people who legit it's still real to them, and the fact that Jinder Mahal is their champion is like for instance, and I hate to read this. I'll get back to the point about OMV in a second.
mm-hmm.
I hate to read comments on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. I usually ignore it, but I saw the fact that was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Was Jinder Mahal's birthday?
Yeah.
And they posted it on Instagram. You know, like happy birthday to the modern day Maharaja, your WWE champion, Jinder Mahal. And if you read the comments,
I don't even want to. Because like it's, I know I understand exactly what you're talking about, but it's ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
he's proven himself for. Yeah, I can get like where people like legit pissed if you're like a diehard wrestling fan, like this random guy just came out of nowhere and just won the title in the way he won it. But it's like for people who think wrestling is real, but it's like, come on. Like he's still. This is literally again a character. He's just playing a character. I guarantee you, he's probably the nicest person you'll probably meet outside the ring. But it's like, come on. It's ridiculous. Just, I don't know. But no, I do agree with you on that. It was just, this is ridiculous. So I guess that would be the reason why Jinder Mahal doesn't close the show.
Yeah, he doesn't close the show because of the fact that he has to get out early.
Yeah, probably just the leave.
Because it's like, all right, what's my match? Let's let me get out of here now. Because I'm pretty sure that you've been to wrestling shows here in Philadelphia, and that you've seen people who after the shows usually go right near to the Wells Fargo Center where we at, and they'll wait and see who drives by, and they'll wave, hopefully get an autograph or take a picture of someone, stuff like that, blah blah blah. Imagine what would happen if you see
Jinder
Mahal leaving. I'm pretty sure someone planning to throw something at his car or try to do something to him while he's driving or while
I can't fathom when he wins, because he is going to win that Battleground. Like, what kind of reaction is going to be?
I'm pretty sure they have that planned.
Because it's Philadelphia. Well, it all makes sense. That's why it's the Punjabi prison.
I'm pretty
sure he's going to go back inside Punjabi prison when he wins it.
I'm pretty sure that they have that planned. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to.
He's going to pull Earl Hebner. Just run out the building after Montreal screw job.
Not really that. They're probably going to tell him to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have him put on his clothes. They're probably going to put him on another bus and have him leave like that. That's actually what they did with like Hulk Hogan. Not Hulk Hogan, with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
When Sergeant Slaughter was doing his own anti-American thing, and for him to leave, and remember, kayfabe back then was strong.
Yes.
Real strong. They used to actually put him on the either a bus or like an equipment truck, and tell him to wait there, and then when they leave, he'll hide, and then he'll drive on from there.
No, you're definitely right. It's just I personally hope, since this is our city, I hope our city doesn't do anything too stupid this Sunday. I mean, I was gonna go personally myself. I just didn't. It's not that I didn't have the money. It was just a bunch of stuff I was focusing on, and I just recently just broke up in this. Well, not even, it wasn't even a relationship. Basically, I just found this person who was just using me. She was just using me for my money. So,
don't you hate that?
yeah, don't you just hate when that happens. So there was that. So I'm not even bothering going to Battleground. I had all intention purposes to go to Battleground. When he first announced going to Philly, I had all attention, but then I got involved in that, and now I found out she was using me for my money. So now I just said screw it. Maybe the Royal Rumble, I guess. Just maybe there.
I was going to go, and then they announced the Punjabi prison, and I said nope. Like I said, I told my friend, yeah, don't buy me the passes, please don't. Like, why not? Because they just announced a Punjabi prison match. I'm not going. I am not going. You and my other friend can have fun. I'm not going.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
I'm not sitting through that.
It's gonna be an interesting sight to see this Sunday. But then our final match we have to go over is AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens one more time for the United States title. Their third match and possibly final match. Who do you think's gonna win and why?
I guess why I told you earlier. Unless they changed it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they kind of messed up for me. But they kind of spoiled it for me. Unless they change that card, then that's why I think it's going to be. I think Kevin Owens is going to win it.
Now, the only reason why I disagree with that is because then that's just a fucking pattern with the United States title and Kevin Owens. Because when Kevin Owens won at WrestleMania, less than like 3 weeks later, he loses to Chris Jericho just for him to win it back at the next, that Smackdown that 2 days later, just for him to lose it to AJ Styles a month at, like almost near 92 months later, and for him just to win it.
It seems weird. Like I said,
it's so weird to me with the United States title Kevin Owens. It's weird.
Yeah, it seems weird, but at the same time, it's like, why would you advertise that and not fix this? Y'all have time.
That is true. That's my point. Yeah.
Y'all have time to fix this, and y'all haven't. That's why I'm saying. Like, even if yes, he won it the beginning of July.
Yeah.
So with that said, you could.
They had 2 weeks to fix. They had 2 weeks to fix it. About 2 weeks. It's not that hard for them to edit one video.
Yeah.
For like a 30-second commercial, it probably wasn't gonna be that hard for them.
Exactly.
Especially with advertising for their city, and for them to promote it, they want to probably promote it right. So no, I do agree with you on that. So that's why I personally like to think that advertisement was made way before Madison Square Garden. So
I mean that could be a possibility too. But like I said, same time, they could have fixed it by then.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and you're absolutely right. So
they have the power. They have the power.
It's gonna be interesting. There's only one justification I will have with Kevin Owens winning, and it will make sense in this character because he's supposed to be the face of America, right?
Yes, and that's another thing too. The fact that he's still calling himself that.
That's the face of America. So there will be only one justification I'll have with Kevin Owens winning. He'll win it, and on SmackDown he'll say AJ Styles tarnished this belt by winning it. So he destroys it and he brings out the new design.
You keep bringing it. I don't know if they're ever going to bring out that.
No, but they have it though. They have them. They have both the Intercontinental and United States. They just don't know when to fucking show it. And I understand. It's hard sometimes just to introduce a fucking title. You know, it's not really that hard. Just fucking.
No, it's not really that hard. I mean, the fucking Rockers did it out of fucking them.
I know. It was like, I mean, for example, the last time they changed the title was the Raw Tag Team title, but it made sense because the New Day had it for the longest, which I feel like they fucked the New Day over there. Once Cesaro Sheamus finally beat them, they said, "Hey, new titles."
Not to also mention the fact that apparently the New Day actually had custom belts that they were.
Yeah, those New Day's belts, the 400, the 8, that belt, which I feel like that was like they completely screwed over the New Day with that one. since they knew how long they were going to hold those titles. I don't care what they said. They knew how long, especially like a year later, way after a year later, when after they won it that past SummerSlam after the brand split, they knew how long they were going to hold those titles. So why not introduce their own belts? They had every right to. They were the tag team champion. When you thought of the tag team division, they were the tag team division, the New Day, between 2015 to now. I mean, from like the beginning of this to the beginning of this year, they were the tag team division. They held those titles for longer than any person, any tag team in history. So it's like, why not award them for their hard work with their own titles? They could have done that, but nope. They said F it, and as soon as Sami Cesaro won, they gave him the new Raw tag team title. So, I mean, that's the only way. I'm just saying, that's the way they're gonna do it with Kevin Owens. Because then my whole thing if he would, but then the thing is, AJ Styles, he has a new shirt though. AJ Styles has a new shirt.
That is true, also. And
it's like he has it because his logo with the American flag. So it's like, why put in all that effort? And y'all knew for a fact he's just going to drop it at Backlash. Why put in that effort? That's my point.
Yeah, like all that. I mean, like I said,
it could have been.
We both bring up valid points. The fact of like, if they was to.
No, your point is perfect. Where it's like they have Jinder Mahal versus AJ Styles. So the fact that they still think Jinder Mahal is still going to be champion out of this, they still had that correct. But the issue is Kevin Owens was still on the advertisement. So which again, no, you are right. If this was true, if this is 100% real, then they knew this was going to happen, which is just strange.
And the fact that they had time
to change it.
That's what thing happens. But they didn't, or they haven't, so who knows?
Obviously, they had to make it after June 25th. That gave them officially 1, 2, 3. They gave them 4 weeks from this week to change that. To change it, since they had Baron Corbin holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. They had 4 weeks to change it, but they didn't. So it's like either they knew what was going to happen with Styles at Madison Square Garden, or they just literally say, "Hey, shit, we forgot. Never mind." Or again, we didn't tell them that it was a last minute decision. They were going to switch the titles off of freaking Owens, or it's just, and again with Styles having his new, again they didn't just make that shirt the next day. They obviously planned the fact that he was going to win at Madison Square Garden, or at least they knew he was going to become United States champion eventually. So why waste a new shirt design to sell if they knew they were going to take the belt off of Styles like 2 weeks later? It just doesn't make any sense. And then you saw the hint on Smackdown with him versus Nakamura.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's something to think about when you fully, but it's just the fact that's like. All right, so I'll always put it down as that we'll see.
Yeah, that's all we can see. Just like, sometimes, the issue with WWE, you can only wait and see. This is the frustrating part sometimes. You just have to wait and see. Say Styles. I say Styles. You say Owens, I say Styles. I guess we will find out. We will definitely find out. And I think we're going to end the podcast right here. I was going to go. The only thing I want to bring up from 205 Live, which I just want to get your opinion on, even though I know you didn't watch 205 Live, I just want to talk about why I thought this was probably the best 205 Live they ever produced. Because for the first time in a while, the crowd was invested in a match. Because the 2 out of 3 falls match between Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak was amazing. The way they booked it.
Yeah.
Especially I mean, like if you have time to watch, just watch like the last 5 minutes. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because basically the whole point, I don't know if you know the story between the two, but basically the whole point was Drew Gulak, he was pretty much acting like a politician, saying the no fly zone or whatever.
But I did see a picture. He was on top of the rope.
Exactly. It was so perfect because what happened was Mustafa Ali got the next pin. Drew Gulak got the first pinfall. Mustafa Ali got the second pinfall. he realized, okay, Mustafa Ali, he might beat me. So he went on the top. He thought about it for like a good minute. He went on the top rope. The crowd was, again, so invested in the match. They were shouting, no, don't do it because it's going against everything you believe in. And then Mustafa Ali, then he thought about it and he said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And he jumped down and that cost in the match. Mustafa Ali was able to get him, then the inverted 450 and won. But that's perfect storytelling right there, in my opinion. I think they nailed it to the point that the crowd even cared. And they were on their feet after Mustafa Ali won. Because they were really into it. And this was the crowd after SmackDown. So it was like the fact that they were still invested after 2 hours after SmackDown. Like I feel like they come for the rest of the show. They didn't personally give a shit. I can admit that. But that first half, I'm glad it was the first match.
That was the first match.
Yeah, it's so weird. It was so weird. This was the first match because the way it ended.
Want to get that out the way.
Well, I'm glad. In hindsight, I'm glad. I was a little irritated why this was not the main event, but I'm glad they did because the way this match went, I'm glad the crowd cared. They got the crowd early with this match and showed that they cared. It was good. The only other note I want to point out the whole Vari Davari and Akira Tozawa is that they had a rematch on 205 Live. Akira did win via roll up. However, Vari Davari was able, he attacked him at the end, and it ended with him just standing tall. And the interesting point is Neville has not been involved in any of this. So it's like, what are they doing here with Vari Davari? I don't know.
Maybe Neville had to take a night off or something.
No, he wasn't on Raw either.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, what are they doing? But yeah, but my whole point was that I personally felt like that was probably the best 205 they have ever done. It was especially just solely because that Drew Gulak and Mustafa Ali. Yeah, I was sitting here for a second. What the fuck is his name? Here I am talking about how good it was. I couldn't remember one of the competitors' name. Shit. And then for NXT, it was Emerald versus Ruby Riot. Okay. The only Lurkin versus Danny Burch match was very good. Like, they beat the shit out of each other. Only Lurkin and Danny Burch. Do you know who the Street Profits are?
No.
It's you might remember it's a new tag team, but they're not new. Do you remember Angelo Dawkins? That one black guy on NXT who never wins, that back one. Him. He was being repackaged with this other guy who he's engaged to one of the Mae Young Classic competitors. So it's him and him. They've been on the live event scene for a while. So, but they're doing vignettes of them. They're funny. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah. And the main event, No Way Jose versus whatever, but Andrade. I find it's the irony in all of this. Andrade is now partnered with. They don't have a name for her, but the woman is Austin Aries' fiance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the irony that the fact that Austin Aries literally just got released and now she just appeared on TV. Amazing. I felt like they did this on purpose.
I don't know on purpose. I think because remember this was taped.
That is true. Never mind. That is true. So they probably weren't planning about with the whole Austin Aries thing. So.
So for all we know, that could have been the one and only time you see her on TV.
No, that is true. No, that is not true. Because based on the tapings I read, spoiler, because they just did an next set of tapings, she will be involved to take over Brooklyn. I won't spoil in the front. Like, I'll tell you after we go off air.
Okay.
What it is. But yeah. Then the main event, which I told you a while ago, the number one contenders match, Drew McIntyre versus Killian Dane, and Drew McIntyre won. But Killian Dane, he gave it to him. Like he did the Future Shock DDT. He kicked out at 1. Wow. He kicked out at 1. He did his signature kick, like his new, like the running, kick thing. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't even pin him because Killian Dane got right back up. It took 2 of them just to knock him down. So I get that they're really building Killian Dane here. And yeah, so Drew McIntyre is officially the number one contender. So we know the main event of Brooklyn. And I think this is where Bobby Roode I think it's winding up for Bobby Roode for NXT. Because if he beats Drew McIntyre, what really is left for Bobby Roode on NXT? I can't see it. Just like the whole Asuka situation. Once Asuka gets beaten, what else is there for her to do on NXT? Nothing. because that's literally her whole point at NXT. She's undefeated. So until somebody beats her, what's going to be the point of her being? No, what's going to be the point of her being on NXT? You beat her, so I don't see her any reason.
Is even someone's going to do it, like Ember Moon, whatever.
I think no, it is. Well, because I'm not gonna spoil it, but
or Oscar too.
I don't think it will be because I know it makes sense, but I don't think it will be because I think everyone's gonna get to her first based on the tapings. I think it's gonna be her.
Yeah, I mean it could be her. I originally think that she should have had the belt months ago, but she injured herself, and then probably saving it, and then ended up saving this for the big show, which is the new owned NXT next month.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's the end of our podcast, guys. That pretty much covers all. We did our Battleground predictions. Any other things you want to say before we go off the air, Ron?
Something small. As some of y'all, I'm pretty sure you know this too, but some of y'all probably know Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park. One of my, I mean, I will go off to say that he's an amazing singer. Of course, I wasn't a fan of some of the newer stuff that he came out with the new album. The last couple of albums that Linkin Park came out, wasn't the biggest fan of. I was more of a fan of Hybrid Theory, Mitoria. Reanimation was one of my favorite albums. I just got finished listening to that earlier. I even like Minutes to Midnight, which kind of started their path to go into into a whole new direction and stuff like that. But either way, Chester was a voice that a lot of people loved, and it's sad the fact that he took his own life. Oh, and the ironic thing was that he did it on the birthday of Chris Cornell. Well, Chris Cornell is another singer for Soundgarden and Audioslave, and his birthday, but he committed suicide back in May. His birthday is today. He would have been 53. And it's just the fact that oddly he happened to do it on his birthday, so it's pretty odd. But my message, I've been going through some things lately. This month has been really troubling for me, as a sense. I've had some medical problems from where the heat got to me and I passed out. I was like really bad.
Oh,
I work outside. I had really bad heat exhaustion from it, 4th of July weekend. Then I was involved in a bus accident. I'm okay from that, but it's just the fact that it happened. It's one of the things that you never expect to happen, and it fucking happened. And now with another thing, my mother has been having health problems. Nothing completely 100% severe, but my mom's in the hospital right now, and not even in this city. She's in the hospital in D.C. because she was on her way to the Carolinas to visit my aunt, who also was in an accident down there, from where she had to get her foot amputated. She was going to go down there to visit her, but it's like she's been stressed out and stuff like that, and she also got low heat exhaustion and stuff like that. She ended up passing out last week. I tried to get her to stay home. I didn't want to go anywhere. She ended up leaving anyway. She had like a light breathing problem, and now she's in the hospital in DC. And as far as what she's telling me, she's okay. She's doing better than what she did yesterday. This all happened yesterday.
Damn.
Okay. Damn. So here it is now today. It's like this has been on my mind for the past 24 hours. Like this whole month sucks. It really does. For me, I'm not saying it for anyone else, but this whole movie for me just sucks. I don't mean to sound that selfish, but this is just how.
No, not at all. I mean, I can't even imagine how you feel this whole month. I can't.
But at the same time, I look at something of a situation that happened with Chester Bennington and the fact of it's whatever he had battled personal demons before. I don't know if he had those same demons come up to him now to the point of him taking his own life. But if anyone feels like this, and I tell myself this too, because I don't feel that way, but at the same time, it's nice to know that you have options if you do feel this way. If you so happen to feel like you're not doing well, if you have any type of thoughts whatsoever about something, please do not hesitate to go and ask for help.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, like do not hesitate. There are numbers out there. You can Google them about suicide help, suicide prevention, something like don't. There's a saying that a radio jock Pierre Robert has that, and I listen to this, and I feel this in a way too, that suicide is a permanent answer to a temporary problem.
And you're 100% right.
So, being to the fact of like how I've been feeling lately, you would think that someone like me would be depressed, and in a sense, I kind of am. But it's not on the fact of me feeling to the point that I need to end it all. I'm not going to do that. And if I ever felt like that, I will call someone. I will talk to somebody. So I feel like that um, if you do feel like you have to talk to someone about your situation, call someone or talk to a friend, and they will help you out.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you, man. Again, all like for people who are depressed currently in the world, if you're watching this, or if you're not, again, you're not alone in this world. Don't ever think like nobody else cares. There are people who are care, like people who do care. And all it takes is just one person just to talk to you, make you realize, again, you're not alone in this. So, yeah, I do apologize for all this happening to you, man. This just all we can do is just hope things get better, and they will. Again, things happen in this world for a reason. So, I guess just the real test is just willing. Like, are you willing to fight through it, or just get past it? Like, and eventually things will get better. You just gotta yeah. Yeah, man. That's tough to hear. Yeah.
I mean, I had to end that on that.
No, I mean, this is real life stuff, man. I mean, like, this is like, I mean, yeah, our pod, like, this is, we ain't talk about wrestling. Like, again, we are two people who have lives. So, yeah, it's just, I completely understand. I do personally hope though that everything is okay with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's tough, but I've been through harder situations that I feel like that this is a test and I can overcome this. We'll talk more when we're done this.
Yeah. But I think we're about to end it right now. So again, thank you guys for showing up. Today's podcast, for those all who showed up in the stream chat. Special thanks to Black Ear Game for really being part of the beginning of the show. And I did read your predictions, so we'll see if anything happens to Battleground. We'll see who's right between the three of us. So with that being said, this is Ron and this is Creator signing off. Catch you guys later. See ya.